Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back for the final time this season to PSGL. We are here at Sao Paulo. It's Interlagos, folks. The grand finale is amongst us. Jarno Opmeer versus Barry Burremand for the PSGL PC title. Jarno Opmeer looking to become a two-time PSGL champion after all the way back in Season 25, where he picked up the PlayStation 4 Championship, beating a very good Louis Welch, who was dominating that season on pad. I'm not alone this week. Once again, folks, I'm joined by my co-commentator. It's the Irishman, Jack Cannan. Jack, welcome back, my man.
Oh, it's great to be back. I've been looking forward to this for a whole week. This is going to be one of the greatest title shows we've ever seen. And also, it's great to have a championship finale at Brazil. We love Sao Paulo. It's been host to so many championship battles over the course of so many years. And I'm sensing, George, I'm getting a real sense going forward. We're going to have and is that Glock moment this evening.
Yes, we've got to. In fact, I interviewed, if you remember, last week, we discussed with Jarno, obviously, the actual permutations of tonight. Of course, so many scenarios on the table, but of course we can all discuss a potential Timo Glock moment, and he didn't write that off either. Of course, Brazil is so technical as a circuit, so many shall I say variation. Not only has it got the high-speed sections, but you've got the very, very tricky cornering as well. It's just going to be an absolute Cinderella story, I'm sure, without any shadow of a doubt. So many drivers as well, not actually in the title fight, who are looking to take all the glory, though. Nicolas Longuet, of course, who's been really practicing his utmost, of course, part of the Renault, or now Alpine team, but driving the Renault here tonight in PSGL. He looks like a formidable force coming in tonight. But tell you one thing, folks, let's have a quick look at the head-to-heads, of course, because that is what we're all talking about. Today is the title fight. Barry leads on number of starts. He started 10 races against Jarno's 9. If you look at qualifying, Barry has qualified higher than Jarno Opmeer on 7 occasions. Opmeer only doing it on the one single occasion, making Barry a very formidable opponent in qualifying. As it goes by racing, Jarno is edging him in races as well. 5 times he has beaten Barry. 3 times Barry has beaten Jarno. 5 wins against Barry's 4, with podiums level on 9. And then the points, you know all about those. 6 points the deficit, 127 points against the 121. What can you say about that, Jack? Phenomenal stats.
Yeah, it's incredible. The fact that Barry's managed to do it 7 out of the 7 occasions he's out-qualified, but the races have come back for Jarno. Now, I know you all want to know about the championship situation and the permutations. The basic idea going into this one is if Jarno finishes in front of Barry, he's won the title. However, we've got a bit of a crazy permutation for today. If the championship is tied, it goes to Barry on the account that he has started one more race. That extra start for Barry Burremand, that 8th place in Belgium, will win him the title if it matches on countback. Because believe it or not, if Barry wins this evening, they will have 5 wins apiece, the exact same number of second places, and the exact same number of third places if Jarno were to finish in P3. It's incredible stats that we've got going on at the moment. So if it were to finish on countback, it would go to Barry. We're going to be working out the points the whole way through, so don't take my word on that. But basic idea, if Jarno's in front, he will win the title. But it's just insane, the permutations we've got. Exact same number of wins, possibly. Exact same number of second places, and the exact same number of third places on the table going into this one.
Amazing, Jack. And I know we spoke about it, and it was absolutely amazing. Obviously, it looked like it was all in Jarno's corner, like he did his utmost there in the last race at Australia. And it looked like the way it was teed up that Jarno had given himself probably a favourite's chance to win the title. He still does have a favourite's chance, but it's no way near as convincing. Barry, after that win at Australia, has really brought it together, and that's exactly what we want to see. And I have to say, answers on a postcard as to who you think is going to be taking victory here tonight. But look at the pundit predictions. I am the current pundit leader. 2 wins currently to my name against the rest of them who are on 1 win at, so I got to say, I'm in with a favourites opportunity here. Tonight, I've opted for Jarno to win tonight at Brazil, with him becoming champion, of course, on that basis. Jack, you've gone for Barry Burremand, with Jarno becoming champion. Big C, the big boss man, Big C Connor, he is gone for Nicolas Longuet to win tonight, with Jarno Opmeer becoming champion. And Maku Manuelos has gone totally against the grain. He is going for a Barry Burremand win and Barry Burremand to win the title. I mean, Jack, I'm feeling confident tonight. I think I have a right to.
I think you do. On previous form, yes, with Jarno having the advantage in wins. But of course, Barry, if he qualifies on pole, there's a good chance he's going to convert that into a win. Now, Abu Dhabi is an exception with Jarno getting the jump into turn 1. But Maku, that's a very outside chance he's gone for. But the thing is, it's very, very possible. That's the thing. Any of this is possible. So we're about to get into qualifying, of course, full qualifying. And George, this is going to be the most important qualifying session that we've had all season. Expect some real focus from the drivers today, and whoever is on pole is going to have a big advantage. But of course, it's a really fast circuit, so pole isn't everything, but it is certainly a big advantage.
Yeah, it's absolutely massive, Jack. Absolutely massive. Never has there been much more at stake than this. And of course, you've only got to look at Barry's record in qualifying to say that he's going to be a huge favourite at this stage. But obviously, Jarno, do not count him out. I can guarantee you he's been working extremely hard on trying to work things out for his qualifying session. And you've got to give him every chance. I mean, naturally, he's leading the championship. So without a shadow of a doubt, he's the one certainly to watch at this stage. So I tell you what, despite him not having a great qualifying record, I definitely wouldn't count him out, Jack, not by a shadow of a doubt. But you cannot obviously count out Barry Burman at this stage. Only 6 points the difference. The permutations we've discussed already. But given his qualifying form, you've got to give him a great chance heading into the race as well.
Yeah, you certainly do. And drivers now prepping to go out to qualifying. It's a lovely sunny day in Brazil. I don't think we're expecting any rain. Well, that will certainly throw a spanner in the works if it were to be a wet race, but nonetheless, going to be a dry qualifying. First car that's going to appear on the track is Philip Preschneider. And of course, Philip out of the title race. Remember, believe it or not, Philip Preschneider was the championship leader at one point. He took a singular victory back in Belgium after Barry, remember, got that penalty behind the virtual safety car, I believe, and ended up with a drive-through penalty. Or was it a jump start? It was something at the beginning of the Grand Prix where Barry picked up a penalty, and Philip Preschneider was able to capitalise on that and take a victory and led the title for a good chunk, as Barry missed the following races, but just was not able to capitalise on the absence of Barry Burman. And a big opportunity for Philip gone. It hasn't really gone his way in the last few races. He knows that, and I know he's disappointed, but I'm sure he'd like to finish on a high.
He will indeed, and I have to say, do not count anybody out at this stage, folks. We're seeing in common trend the intermediate tyres being worn while these drivers set out some initial lap times on this circuit. But a lovely sunny day here at Brazil, as we now watch Philip Preschneider wind his way through the final corners, of course, winding through the Arquibancadas section of the circuit, round turn 15, and he'll be heading down the start-finish straight. Let's ride on board here with our man Philip Preschneider, coming down in the Ferrari towards what will be turn 1 into the centre S's. Of course, being made up of turns 1 and 2, a lock-up there, as you would expect, given the fact that he's on the slicker compounded tyre, and just steadily winding his way through. Getting used to this circuit, of course, as he rounds the next left-hander at turn 3. Now the Retta Aposta underneath the Pirelli banner. And there's a car on the left-hand side there as well. That looks like a Haas as he makes his way through turn 4. Decidia Delago on the outset now, heading through turn 5. And down towards turn 6 at the Ferragura. And this one, you want to really, really try and leave it as late as possible on the brakes, but at the same time, not too late. You don't want to go off the edge, as he now makes his way around turn 8, down towards turn 9 at the Pinarino. And looking ever so steady, need to be on this compound, heading round turn 10 now. Very shortly, turn 11. Bico de Pato is that right-hander, of course. Very favourable for lockups as well at that section. Round the next left-hander at Merigulo. Heading up towards Junchao now at turn 13. And the Ferrari there looking certainly indeed like he wants to strike gold yet again. Preschneider, of course, setting 2 initial purple sectors, which is a given, as he is the first driver out on track under the Emirates banner, down through past Arquibancadas, and across the line now to set the first time on the board, a 1:16.169. No doubt we're going to see better than that, Jack, given the compounded tyres, but great to see Preschneider out and about. Let's hope he has a good race here tonight.
Yeah, I hope so. It's obviously not been a great end of the season for Philip Preschneider, but he wants to get better than that. Of course, everybody else seems to be out on the intermediate tyre. Lewis Welch, there he is, out on his lap. Yari Fitz is also on those inters, as is Simon Shootout. Alex O'Grady back for this week as well at Alpha Tauri, and Tom Martinez as well on those intermediate tyres. Dylan Warren also on those inters as well, and he goes The second just a 9/10 of a second off the back of Philip Preschnader. But we have got a hometown hero who's racing with us this evening, Felipe Souza, the only Brazilian on the grid. Had a fantastic result last time out in Australia, made the right strategy call under the safety car, got himself right up there, of course, was victim to Jarno Wotmer's charge at the very end. If you haven't watched that race, by the way, make sure you watch those last few laps behind the safety car and the genius strategy call from Jarno Wotmer, and definitely give his video a watch on YouTube as well. It's a brilliant POV of what was going on right there. But I think Felipe is going to really want to do well here.
Yeah, definitely. And like you say, hometown boy, and no doubt he's going to want to do exactly that. And you've got to give credit to Felipe Souza. Since donning the PC platform, he has been absolutely brilliant. We've seen him contesting. I remember he had a great race in Mexico as well, where he was tussling as Simon Shooter heads up into P3. And there's still plenty of cars yet to come out, and it's going to be very interesting, Jack. Obviously, we've got a few new faces as well. Pablo Joglar is out on an outlap as well. Of course, another name that we haven't seen yet this season. He's in the AlphaTauri, the only man who's actually on the softer compounded tyre right now, but great to see some new faces out and about here at PSGL here tonight.
Yeah, we always like to see the new faces, the new talent that's arriving on the scene. We've had a few people asking why the drivers are using those intermediate tyres, and it's simply to save themselves from using a dry set of tyres on their banker laps. So if they don't have to use a dry tyre set, then they won't, but it's to keep an extra set for their Q2, Q3 runs. So there's nothing in the rules that says that you can't use these tyres. It's going to be, of course, a struggle in the dry conditions, but that is the simple reason why, that they just save a set of tyres and put a banker lap in. It's a quite clever strategy being at use of the driver. Some leagues ban it, but we, of course, do not do that at PSGL because it's well within their right to do that. You can do that in real life if you really wanted to, but not quite the same in this one. But Lewis Welch at the top, 15.9 on the intermediate tyre, and we're waiting for the heavy hitters to come out in a few moments' time. Well, actually, Jarno Wotmer is out on the track right now. He is on the intermediate, setting a banker lap, and he brings the advantage into this race. He's got a 6-point lead heading into this one. He knows he has got to finish in front of Barry to win this title comfortably. If he's behind Barry, the pressure's then on him to keep those positions. If he's P2, then he wraps it up. When it gets to P3, it gets a bit messy after that.
It certainly does, and we got this man out on track. He's going to be the first to set, I think, a proper fast lap here. Pablo Joglar in the AlphaTauri, and on his first visit here to PSGL, donning the soft tyres here with just over 11 minutes left to go, and comes across the line now very, very shortly past the pad at the pit lane. Across the line, and that's P1 at 106.613. Not a bad start there for Pablo Joglar, and a good sight, certainly for us here, as to where the fast times will be, at least at this stage. Naturally, the track has got a lot of warming up to do, but we have been hearing lap times in the 105s, Jack.
Yeah, 105 is what we're aiming for. We're about a second off of that at the moment, but I think the times will progressively get quicker throughout the session. This is only Q1, so we're only trying to get the bottom 5 eliminated from this one. So here comes Jorge Alberola. He's going to finish his lap in the Haas. He comes across to go second on a 105.54, but is, of course, eclipsed by Andreas Dormeyer, who goes on a 106.50, 400ths quicker. So 106, mid 106 is what we're at the moment. A new face at McLaren, George. Liam Parnell joins us. It's been a long time since we've seen Liam over here, and nice to see him on PC with teammates with Barry Burman this week. Of course, Josh Idawu not taking part this weekend. He's coming to the start-finish line now to see where he can go in his McLaren. He goes to the top of the 106.4. Yeah,
very respectable from Liam Parnell, and takes himself to the top of the timing tower, and goes ahead of Dormeyer by just under a 1/10 of a second. So great showing by Liam Parnell, and McLaren will be very pleased with that. Of course, his teammate is also fighting for the championship. It's Barry Burman, of course, in the McLaren. Of course, Josh Idawu was representing that seat previously, but great to see Liam Parnell here donning those colours and taking it to the top, at least for this initial stage, of course. Still plenty of drivers yet to come across the line to commit there, or certainly to compete their initial laps and fastest laps. Dylan Warren, he is another man who's been in amongst it of late, and fired him himself into the top 10 after a good performance last week that saw him secure a 7th place at Australia. And it was a great return for Dylan Warren, Jack, because he has had a couple of frustrating moments, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has. It's just difficult qualifyings, but he managed to get himself into Q3 in Australia and got a really nice points finish out of it. Of course, he did end up getting his penalty, one of his penalties removed due to a double warning, so no issues there. So he finished well within the points. A really good result from him that time. We're just waiting for the AlphaTauri of Alex O'Grady, who's in at that team this weekend. He's going to cross the line to set his time, and he goes to third, 106.52 for Alex, of course, on the grid to make us all feel bad because he's 12 years of age.
He certainly is, Jack, absolutely, but no less a potent character. And interesting team, that AlphaTauri, certainly with the likes of Alex O'Grady and Pablo Joglar, obviously Alex O'Grady making his debut last week at Australia, and now we got the debut of Pablo Joglar this week as well, so interesting to see how they get on as they make their way through. And of course, another man who made his debut was Sam McBride, and he's out on track too. And certainly Renault will be looking to impress you today, as well as this man, Nicholas Longuet, who has been dubbed as one of the quicker men round here, of course, and set a real fast time yesterday when they were battling out in practice. I know that Longuet's been working hard, looking to get a win on the board here in PSGL, and what timing it would be to do it tonight, Jack. If he could secure it on the final race of the season, that would be extraordinary.
Yeah, it really, really would. And just to clear up, I believe it's showing as Sam McBride on the overlay, but that Renault, the number 32, is Chana Kinchi. I can't confirm. The Turkish driver is in Renault this week. So teammates of Nicholas Longuet, that'll be Chana Kinchi. So everyone at home is aware, we marked as MCB on your overlay, but it will be Chana Kinchi who's in that car. But Nicholas Longuet, he's out on the circuit at the moment, and he's the man who Connor is tipping for the win this evening. And let's see if he can do that. Well, it's Felipe Souza, the Brazilian, who leads the times at the moment, 106.41, just 100th ahead of Liam Parnell in P2. So we wait to see who can get up to the top. Well, there goes Barry, 4/10 quicker on his first lap. Barry Burmand tops the timings at the moment, and we're waiting to see the rest of these guys come across the start-finish line to set their times. So Longuet now, let's see what he's able to do. He's sitting 18th at the moment. His purple middle sector from him so far comes across the start-finish line, and he will go to the top on a 106.002, but a purple first sector from Jarno Opmeer, a green middle sector from himself as well. This will be quite tight. Expect this qualifying to be very, very close. Here comes Jarno Opmeer. He leads the title coming in here. Where does he go? In Q1, he goes to second on 106.033, 200ths ahead of Barry Boorman, but 300ths behind Nicholas Longuet, but incredibly close across the board as Timon Shootout goes to fourth.
He does indeed. Just look at that. Just under or just over half a tenth separating the top three. That's extraordinary. Longuet on top, Opmeer in second, Buraman in P1, of course, and there's Longuet, of course, on a cool-down lap. Amazing stuff indeed. There's Chana Kinchi making his way around. Out comes Danny Moreno as well, who's also representing the second car of Mercedes. There's Alvaro Caraton, who unfortunately invalidated that lap, albeit though he'll go out on a quick one, I'm sure, very shortly. But at this stage, Longuet on top, showing all that pace. Chana Kinchi goes up into P4 as well, just over 0.2 of a second away from Nicholas Longuet, his teammate. So Renault looking extremely quick this weekend, as we're now watching Caraton cross the line to commence his lap now as he makes his way through the center S's, and very shortly around the next left-hander at turn 3. Rita Raposta is what beckons, but phenomenal separation at the top there. It's such a huge deficit separating P's 3 and 4 as Tom Martinez makes his way up into P12. Yellow flag in sector 2, so Caraton's going to have to just watch himself going around. That's a Renault that's just creeped off track, but amazing to see though, Jack. Just over 0.5 of a second is all that separates the top 10. Absolutely amazing stuff.
Yeah, and quick shout out as well to Fergie. Thanks for the £5, mate. That's going to go probably to our drinks afterwards, this race. So thank you, mate. Danny Moreno now, of course, himself and Alvaro Caraton, they're fighting for third place in the championship. And big day for them, of course, the Spaniards battling for position. But Danny could play a big role in this championship fight, of course. We know they work so well together as a team, Jarno and Danny, and of course Danny moving out of the way for Jarno last week when he was on his charge. So I wonder if Danny's in a better position and Jarno could possibly win that title. Would he move out of the way?
Well, that's the big question. Caraton immediately, though, heads straight into P4. Danny Moreno still out on track. Here comes, I believe that's Dylan Warren. Louis Welch, though, flying up into P4. Just pipping Alvaro Caraton. Great showing from the pad man. Certainly in the Haas, who has been absolutely tenacious this season. Been in amongst his own sequence of decent results. So never count out Louis Welch, who has been in the points on various occasions. Remember, nearly scored a podium at Bahrain. Bahrain short in race 12. And I've got to say, he's really pulled it together for the pad players, hasn't he, Jack? The sole man on the pad, yet oh so competitive. It's extraordinary, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. Lewis is a fantastic driver, and we heard from Connor, of course, that Jarno, his last title in PSGL over on the PS4, and Lewis Welch and Jarno Otmir were the guys battling for the title, and the reason that Jarno came in to compete in that PS4 challenge was to stop this man from dominating Lewis Welch. He was incredibly fast over on PS4, but he's still able to mix it up with the fastest guys on the platform on the pad, and that is just brilliant to see. And he's doing it for all the pad players at home, and he is incredibly quick. Has been a bit unlucky across the board with some penalties and just being out of position at the wrong time. But Lewis is incredibly quick, so don't count him out. He will maybe sneak himself a podium. He has done in the past, and I wouldn't put it past him. Danny Moreno, by the way, he invalidated his first run. He's on his second run right now. And it's green for Danny Moreno in the timings. He's a 10th off in sector number 1, and he is right on the money in sector 2. So this should be enough to slot him maybe between Lewis Welch and Alvaro Caraton. Here comes Danny Moreno now, and he does do exactly what I predicted. I am psychic.
Yes, very well done, Jack. The psychic does get it right. P5 for Danny Moreno, and that means that two Mercedes now occupy the top 5 here in Q1 with just under 2.5 minutes remaining, and Otmir still out on track. Longue very happy with his time so far, currently occupying that P1 spot. How long can he hold on to it here in Q1? That's the big question. There's a Ferrari out on track as well, that being that could either be Prejneda or Martinez, both of them in the drop zone. That certainly would not be where they would want to be, certainly given the fact that they've got to try and get themselves higher up this order. The two Red Bulls as well in the drop zone. Of course, two constructors you would never ever see, or you wouldn't expect to see, certainly dropping out of Q3. Obviously, it'd be a disaster for them. Jari Fitz, though, we know how tenacious he is as Alberola makes his way around the circuit. It's getting quite congested in this first sector, heading into sector 2. So those out on fast laps have got to be really careful. Thyman Shooter as well, out on track. Recent acquisition of Veloce Esports, making his way around the next left-hander, occupying the Alfa Romeo car here tonight. And as he rounds the Arquibancadas here at Brazil, down towards the line, and he'll be looking to commence his fast lap now as well. But amazing to certainly see this as Prejneda makes his way up into P7, so he saves himself from being a driver at risk. But Martinez, he needs to do something here, and so do the two Red Bulls, Jack.
Yeah, the Red Bulls are the ones that are in trouble. Pedreño has not set a representative time yet. He's about to come across the line now to see what he can do. He made it into Q3 at Australia, snuck in P10. Here comes Pedreño now. Where does he go? He goes into 16th. That's not enough to make it in. It's so tight. It's 4/10 up to pole. Well, a provisional P1 and Q1 at the very least at the moment. Dormeyer is just been knocked out right there. I was about to say he was in. He's not any longer. So that's a good job from that driver to make it in. That was, of course, Jari Fitz, who's now made it into Q2. And we now wait to see Jorge Alberola, Tom Martinez. Dormeyer is on the bubble right now. That would be a big loss. Souza's on the bubble as well. He needs to make his way into Q2 at home. He's on an improvement at the moment in that Williams, filling in for Nicholas Mateo. Looking good so far for Souza. Green in sector 1 and 2. Here comes the Brazilian, and he goes across the start finish line and goes into 12th place. That should be maybe enough. Jari Fitz is pulling out of his lap. Dylan Warren's on the bubble. Pablo Hoglar is currently now the man on the bubble as well. Dormeyer trying to come to the line right now. He's about a 10th off his best. He's got to peel into pit lane. Dormeyer is out in Q1. What about Pedreño? He's going to peel into pit lane. He's out. Tom Martinez is the man on an improvement. Alex O'Grady currently down on his time in Sector 2. Jorge Alberola doesn't look like he's going to make it in either. He looks like he's going to be starting from the back of the grid tonight as he comes around the last corner right here. Doesn't look like he's on a push lap here. George going to peel into pit lane on the left-hand side. But the man who's we keep an eye on right now is Alex O'Grady. Comes to the line. Can he make it into Q2 this week? He can, but exactly the same time as Pablo Hoglar, as Caraton by 1,000th goes to the head of the field in that Williams, and we know he tends to do that, Alvaro Caraton, at the very last moment. And now Tom Martinez, he's about to come to the start-finish line now, and it may not be enough. He's run out of ERS, he's run out of energy. By the looks of it, he's going to try and get to that line, or will he peel into pit lane? He's going to peel into pit lane, he'll be out in Q1, but how about that? Alex O'Grady and Pablo Hoglar at the exact same time. Alex O'Grady makes it in.
Yeah, by the slimmest of margins. Alex O'Grady, the 12 years of age, folks, getting just through into Q2 for AlphaTauri. Exquisite stuff indeed. And Tom Martinez, unfortunately, one of the casualties already in the first session here in qualifying, and naturally not the way he would have wanted it to go. Pedreño as well in the Red Bull, so Red Bull losing a man, so are Ferrari. But amazing stuff indeed. Alvaro Caraton at the death, though, going into P1, and the Spaniard be absolutely delighted with that. Naturally, Williams have been in the midst of potential wins and podiums as well, of course. Nicholas Matteo took them to P1 at Monza, and what a tremendous occasion that was, because Matteo often gets so close to podiums, Jack, but tends to get his heart broken towards the end. But he managed to do it on that one occasion, which certainly served Williams all the better. And now Caraton is looking to try and score one himself. Remember, also a race winner, Caraton. He picked up a win at the US Grand Prix, and he's now topping the billing here in Q1. First place goes to him with a 106.001. Still no 105s in the first session, but you can expect it to go through in the latter sessions. Nicholas Longue, P2. Jana Watmere, P3. Lewis Welch, P4. Speed Barry Burraman, P5. Danny Moreno, P6. Philip Prejnader, P7. Chana Kinchi in P8 with Liam Parnell in P9. Thyman Shooter, P10. Ruben Vallejo in P11 with Dylan Warren in P12. Felipe Souza, P13. Yari Fitz in P14. Alex O'Grady just gets into P15. We're losing Pablo Hoglar, Andreas Dormeyer, Ruben Pedreño, Tom Martinez, and Jorge Alberola. But what a start, Jack. Amazing stuff indeed. And as we expected, the big names at the top end, and also those fighting for the championship. But we did lose a few key men, including Tom Martinez and Ruben Pedreño.
Yeah, Pedreño exiting in Q1, but let me tell you how close that was. Half a second between everybody. That's how close it is around here. And half a tenth between your top four in this one. So it's going to be an incredibly close qualifying. But Caraton, how about Caraton? He snuck a pole position on multiple occasions at the very last moment. And he goes to the top of Q1. So he has got the pace, Caraton, to do this by 1,000th of a second. But of course, there is more time in these guys. But Jarno, I think, will take some comfort from the fact that he did manage to get in front of Barry. Now, whether Barry is saving, we don't know. But we know Barry has absolutely got to qualify well this evening. If he can get himself in pole and put a car between himself and Jarno, even better. But he has got to be at the sharp end. He cannot afford to have a bad qualifying. And neither can Jarno. Neither of them can afford to have a bad qualifying. But Nicholas Longue, he's right up there. He could be the man that causes issues for both of them, potentially.
He could well be, Jack. He could well be. And we'll look forward to seeing what he can do. He's certainly a man that can certainly make the difference in this race. And we did hear as well how quick he was. And many of the drivers quoting that he could be the one to upset the card here at this race here tonight. So do not count out Nicholas Longue, folks. Naturally, a good showing in qualifying and taking the top spot, at least for a time being in qualifying in Q1. But naturally, of course, to be taken away by Alvaro Caraton. Just rises the tensions, folks, naturally. I want to hear from you. Who are you hoping to see at the top end at the end of this race? Who's your tip to win tonight's Brazilian Grand Prix? And not to mention, who do you think is going to win the title? Obviously, we want to hear from you, folks. At the end of the day, you're all on board here watching PSGL here tonight. Please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe as well and get on board. Clapperstein 180 has immediately said Jana Watmere is his man. He reckons he's going to be the one to beat here tonight, Jack. You'd be a fool, really, to say that he's wrong, really, wouldn't you?
You would. He's the man with the advantage going in here. So, I mean, he's always going to be the pick for the win this evening and the championship. But I mean, stranger things have happened to PSGL. We always will talk about last week for a long time into the future, with Jarno disconnecting and finishing having to start from the back, finishing P3 in the end. Looks like at the moment he is stable. He's obviously into Q2, so already a better day at the office than he managed in Australia. But Nicholas Longa is the man straight out onto the track. He's the first man on a time lap at the moment, as well as Chanakinchi. So both Renaults out at the moment. Chanakinchi now is obviously on his time lap now. Nicholas Longa on his out lap. But the Renaults, they're desperate to get a time in early, and Longa knows now he's got a chance at pole.
Yeah, big chance indeed. And just having a look at some of these comments as well. Looking further down, Tiger F1 going for pole. He's saying linguist. I'm guessing that means Longue. Samuel Thore has gone for Jarno. Liam Hayter, come on Jarno, he says. Tiger F1 786 has gone for Longue. Max Van Steenis has gone for Jarno. Logan Skelton, my girlfriend is watching too. Hello, Logan's girlfriend. Welcome to the stream. Also, Tiger F1 786, Jarno winning the race and the championship. That's a huge call there as well. Job van Perver has gone for Jarno as well. Mohamed Sain Yusuf Famila, sorry if I get that name wrong, he's going for Barry across the board. Logan has gone for Otmir. Plenty out there, loads of them going for Bardia as well. Shadow saying George Morgan for pole. I think you're absolutely right, Shadow. I totally agree. Fergie has gone for Louis Welch. Big call there as well. He could do it. He's the pad man for a reason. And Alamonda saying, I wonder if we'll hit 300 viewers tonight. Come on, folks, get the viewers on board. Tom Martinez is going for Philip Presnader, his teammate. No surprises there. Obviously, it's great to see these guys supporting one another. Guram Pedrenze, here's a question for us, Jack. What would happen if they finish on equal points? It would be the count back, wouldn't it?
It would be the count back, and let me tell you, it depends on where they finish on count back. If it were to be Barry in P1 and Jarno in P3 without the fastest lap is going to play a big role this evening. If neither of them got fastest lap, Barry was P1 and Jarno was P3 with no fastest lap, Barry would win the title on countback, on effect that they would have the exact same number of wins, the exact same number of second places, and the exact same number of third places, and the only reason Barry would win is because he has an 8th place finish at Belgium, which Jarno did not start. So the extra race that Barry started would give him the title if that scenario were to happen. It's crazy.
Yeah, definitely. And what a scenario indeed, folks. It's going to be absolutely out of this world. Can you imagine it going all the way down to a count-back scenario and Barry Burman picks up the win and wins the championship on that basis? I mean, you'd almost call that a crime as Liam Parnell hits the top for the first time in this session. 106.429 on the soft tyres. So an early showing in for McLaren. And obviously still plenty to go here with 10 minutes left to go in this race. It's going to be absolutely extraordinary, folks. And I cannot wait to bring it to you. Naturally, as the clock winds down, that's where tensions start to rise. And we start talking about eliminations. And it's going to be intriguing. I mean, Jack, it just gets so tense at this point, doesn't it? Q2, you could argue, obviously, because this obviously determines the compounds heading into the start of the race, there's a lot more on the line, isn't there, in some cases?
There certainly is, and I wonder, are any of our championship contenders going to try an alternate to try and start on mediums, potentially, if they could do it, but it's going to be so difficult around here because the timing is so close. The times are incredibly close. It could be maybe 1,000th of a second that sees you in or out of Q3, and we even saw, even if you set the exact same time, you could be out in this one. Alex O'Grady making it in by absolutely nothing, but zero margin he made it in by into Q2. But at the moment it's Liam Parnell at the top, Presnader in second with his banker, and we now have Barry Burman. He is out on the circuit, as is Longa. He's come back out on another set of tyres, and well, this is going to be interesting now to see whether they're going to try a different strategy or whether the softs are the way to go. Jarno's still not out on the circuit just yet, but Longa, he's come out already, and is now going for a second run straight away. So he's keen. Barry Burmant, he's of course keen to get his banker run in and get those tyres in and set for Q for the race. Of course, you want to set you want to do as little runs as possible in Q2. Ideally, you want to set your fastest lap on your first run, but of course that doesn't normally happen. The track does evolve and such. But Barry's about to launch onto his lap now with Longue not far behind him.
Yeah, full throttle here from Barry Burmand. He is now making his way around the Arquibancadas and heading down the stretch before he reaches the center S's. And as he does so, he'll be plugging his way through here. Wants to hug tight. As you can see, they're locking up the left front tyre down through the center S's now, heading on the outset through Retro-Poster. And in they come now, down the long stretch with DRS activated and opened up, down towards turn 4 at Decidia de Lago. Here comes Barry Burman, braking on the throttle, straight on the throttle yet again, and firing up the gears now up to 8th now as he makes his way towards the Ferragura at turn 6. And just curving his way around this little bend here. This is a tight one now, heading around turn 8. You're almost turning back on yourself, heading into turn 9 at Pinorino. And next up is turn 10. Where, of course, they'll then meet a little kink before they hit Pico de Pato at turn 11. Down towards the Murulo at turn 12 now, which will then lead him up towards Junchao. And braking at the 50, just literally want to brush the curb there on the left-hand side. Now pushes out Arquibancadas there on the right-hand side, which is the grandstands littered throughout this famous Brazilian circuit here at Interlagos. Comes up towards the line now. Barry Burman looking to nail a top time of 105.9. The first 105 we have seen here tonight, Jack.
Yeah, rapid time. First time for Barry. Here comes Longue. Where does he go? He's obviously had a poor last sector, and he backs off his lap at the very end to go 112.8. He has the purple first sector in this current session. We're waiting now. Alex O'Grady comes across the line. He goes to third, 106.47, not too far off the time of Liam Parnell. It's currently a McLaren 1-2 with Barry on a 105.937. Here comes Ruben Vallejo. We're trying to get used to Ruben. Of course, he's in an Alpha this weekend. We're normally used to see him in a Racing Point. Here comes the Spaniard, and he goes into 6th, 114.0, but of course that was not a representative time. Of course, he backed off at the very last moment in the last sector, but I'm kind of just trying to get used to seeing Ruben Vallejo in a Alfa Romeo. We see him at Racing Point. He's been in Racing Point all season, and of course he's in there filling in for Simon Weigang this week. Yeah, very strange to see him in different colours, Jack, I have to say, but great to see him here at PSGL. We are a big fan of Ruben Vallejo, a top guy, of course, and obviously a huge, staunch professional. Unfortunately, invalidates on that occasion, but never he minds. He's still in the fight. With just over 5 minutes to go, he set a banker lap for this session, but naturally, this is where you really want to be nailing your top times, but still plenty out and about here on this illustrious circuit here in Brazil. As Caraton, we're now watching him ride through the middle sector. He also has an invalid time on the cards, but he'll be looking to go quicker here again. He might choose the box to put another set of softs on, perhaps. Maybe go again for one last dance, but we'll have to wait and see. As he now rounds the corner at turn 8, heading down towards turn 9. And obviously Williams would be certainly delighted to try and get some more points on the board. Naturally, they are no strangers to victories. They've done it before this season. They have plenty of talent here in their cars, and naturally Caraton being one of them. Of course, official Williams F1 esports driver making his way around that left-hander, down through the next kink at turn 15, and he will cross the line to commence his fast lap. But naturally, at this moment in time, Jack, it's looking really good right now. Two McLarens on top billing. Burman and Parnell, just under half a second the difference. Amazing, isn't it? It's really close. Felipe Sousa just coming out the pit lane next to Caraton. Still, we have not seen the Mercs come out yet. They're leaving this late, as per usual. They want to leave as little runs as possible. I'm seeing, George, the chat are giving you some great compliments for your corner name knowledge. I'm not going to throw you under the bus, but you definitely know those off by heart, don't you?
Oh, I definitely do, Jack. I have a memory bank. I
definitely don't have a track map up.
No, not at all, Jack. Not at all. I would never do such a thing. Who do you think I am? No, honestly, no. It's a pleasure to obviously call these races, and obviously having the ability to have knowledge like this on the cards is very, very good. So yeah, but it makes this very enjoyable because we get to assess how these cars handle some of these illustrious bends. And as I said before the start of the broadcast, Brazil is no stranger to drama. We've seen it before. Of course, I did mention that infamous moment where Glock caused a bit of a sensation as Caraton goes into P2 and splits the two McLarens. And just over half a tenth of a second. That's extraordinary indeed as well. And it's getting tighter at the top. And no doubt the Mercedes are going to be coming in very soon, I am sure. Otmir still yet to hit a timeout. With just over 3 minutes remaining, it's going to be absolutely sensational, folks. A last gasp at the end of Q2. Half the grid not yet setting times.
George, we just had word we are restarting. We are restarting due to desync. And so that throws an extra spanner in the works. We just had the word from Connor. We will be restarting qualifying. And I think it's just going to be a short qualifying session right now. We'll have to get the confirmation from Connor. But we are restarting. I did notice some desync problems with the timing. And that is probably part of the reason we have not seen Moreno, Jarno, all those guys out on track just yet. We're going to get a lobby restart, ladies and gentlemen, to add to the drama of this final round.
Absolutely sensational. That's the wonders and the, I suppose, the wonders of technology sometimes, folks. You do get bitten with it from time to time. But nevertheless, don't you fret. Of course, me and Jack could be here to guide you through the start here, so you get to put up with our beautiful voices, certainly, while we get things back underway. But, no, sensational, I have to say, and it just only heightens the tension. Naturally, all these drivers are going to be experiencing a little bit more tension, no doubt, especially between that of the Flying Dutchman, Jarno Otmir. Longe immediately goes into P2. Nevertheless, while they're still out on track, they're still trying to hit up some lap times. Longe flexing his muscles there, going ahead of Caraton. Moving into P2, not quite enough to beat Burman though on this occasion. But nevertheless, it's going to be absolutely sensational. We're going to wait and see, folks, as to what happens as we restart the lobby. But you can come and rejoin us in the studio, of course. So welcome back, folks, to my humble abode here in the studio of PSGL. And it's a pleasure to be back here, of course. And we want to talk to you, obviously, about what you think is going to happen in this race. We get to have a little conversation and face-to-face sit down as to what we think is going to happen during this race, Jack. And naturally, I have to say, historically, we all remember the Hamilton situation where he won the title, obviously due to an epic moment where, of course, Thibaut Glock, well, he just caused a load of drama. Felipe Massa, unfortunately, on the sore end of it. But these are the sort of things that can happen at tracks like these.
Yeah, absolutely iconic moments there in the second to last corner. I think it was Young Chow where it all went wrong for Timo Glock and for Felipe Massa. I think it's a perfect demonstration of never celebrate too early at Ferrari. With Hamilton going through in those last corners and getting it just enough to win his first championship. So we're still, of course, waiting for word on what's happening. A lot of these drivers actually are, because they're out on track, they haven't seen the messages that we are restarting. And we are officially going to be doing short qualifying sessions as well. So all those drivers knocked out in Q1 get a second chance. So now it's just going to be a straight shootout for pole position for 18 minutes.
Wow. I have to say that, I tell you what, that does put things on tenterhooks, folks. All season long, we've been working on a quali format of full quali. We are coming here tonight, one session only now. All the drivers back in. It's literally a question of who's fastest now, folks. They're going to be hitting the times on the boards. Now, this could throw a spanner in the works. This could suit Otmir over Burman, couldn't it, Jack? Because naturally, we've seen how Burman copes in terms of a full quali scenario. He certainly seems to be the mastodon where it comes to things like that. But now we're heading into a short quali format. This could suit Jarno more than Barry here tonight.
It certainly could. So this is now going to be about sheer pace, so they don't need to worry about saving a set of tyres for Q2 or any of that. So now it's a straight shootout. So Barry does tend to do a tiny bit better in the scenario. Of course, he's 7-1 against Jarno in qualifying. So this is it's going to be really interesting, actually. I'm looking forward to seeing what this is going to be like. We're just waiting for it to get everybody in the lobby, including ourselves. We're switching over at the moment and waiting for the rest of the drivers to come over. So we're looking at short qualifying, 18 minutes, all clear weather by the looks of it. No sign of any rain. So we're just going to have 18 minutes of pure pace and shootout. for the pole position, the final pole position of the season, and see if we can have Barry back on an 8-1 against Jarno Watmere. So it'll be interesting to see. But we, of course, anyone just joining, we're having a lobby restart. We had desync with drivers unfortunately getting disconnected and the timings not showing up correctly. For those guys, it was not an issue. Any Jarno fans, don't worry, it was an issue with his internet. We are sorting it out in the background. Everybody's in the lobby right now, but getting underway in just a few seconds' time.
Yeah, hopefully we will not have a repeat of last week, folks. Unfortunately, Jarno had to start from the back. But, you know, in typical Flying Dutchman fashion, it didn't matter to him, did it? He still came up and got himself a podium. And let's talk about that, Jack, because that was a special race. Very rarely, when we speak about the Australian Grand Prix, do we talk about classics or things of that nature? Obviously, you look back to races like at Adelaide and things like that. You think of Jacques Villeneuve and Damon Hill, things of that nature. And obviously the likes of Michael Schumacher as well. But we came to Australia last week, and from the depths of the back of the grid, Jarno Watmere fights his way from the back of the grid to a P3 finish. I mean, that is just the type of magicianry that the man is good at, isn't it? I mean, you know, surely that puts him a pedal stone above many others in this grid tonight.
Yeah, and you could make the argument that he was helped by the safety car, but I mean, you make your own luck in these sports. So it was the strategy call to come in under the second safety car with the window behind him to come out with a fresh set of softs in P8 and make his way up to P3 within 2 laps, and he did that without the aid of DRS as well. It was just fabulous to watch, which is it was an absolute spectacle to watch a master at work. And I'm sure Barry was sweating at the end, because I'm pretty sure he knew if there was one more lap, Jarno, I think, would have taken that victory. But even so, it's those strategy calls within a split second that decide the great from the good, and Jarno proved why he was champion last week. But now, of course, he takes a 6-point advantage going in here. It could have been a hell of a lot worse going into this race, but we're loading into short qualifying right now, and we're going to have a full set of drivers, 20 drivers going for pole, so expect some chaos.
Oh, it's going to be a juicy one, Jack, and we can't wait. It's naturally what dreams are made of, folks, and we're coming here today naturally with all the expectations that we're going to be experiencing some really, really good racing, and we certainly will, to say the least. And obviously we want to hear from you, and obviously this gives you a chance to obviously resubmit, of course, your predictions for qualifying. So do tell us who you think is going to be on pole position. Litter that live chat, folks. I want to see it full to the brim, and we'll talk through it, of course. And the drivers now making their way out onto the track now, and all hell for leather out to the pit lane. And very shortly you will be watching them try and put their best lap times on the board to battle out on who's going to be at the very top. Big question indeed. We're having a look at this now. Guram Pendenze saying, commentators, how many time laps will they do? Jack, I suppose generally in a short qualifying sense, we usually see 2 fast laps, but here we could see as many as 3.
I think we could, because we've got a really short circuit here, so I think we can expect a banker lap and maybe 3 attempts at a fast lap. Of course, they don't need to worry about saving tyres or doing anything like that, so nobody's come out on the intermediates, which we would normally see in Q1. So I think expect some 3 fast laps, minimum 2, but maybe 3 if you can get the timing. But expect these guys to just get a banker in first, so the first times will not be the be-all end-all, but I think it's already getting congested out on the circuit.
It is, absolutely. Just look at it. Outlaps across the board. Still those who, well, certainly there are a couple that are about to set their fast laps now. So keep your eyes peeled, folks. This is going to be a real intriguing one. Caraton making his way around the Akibankada bend and past the stadium section, heading through turn 15 and making their way down towards turn 1 and through the center S's. And so they're all starting with a clean slate, albeit in short quali terms, and Caraton is in the midst of this as well. We're going to wait and see how this plans out, because naturally a very different set of circumstances. Short quali, they don't have to worry about elimination, but obviously what they do need to worry about is nailing down a fast time. And this obviously does cause maybe a little bit of unsettling, because of course they've all practiced the qualifying system all season long, as I mentioned earlier on. So this is going to certainly throw a cat amongst the pigeons. But Caraton, of course, historically a fast driver in qualifying, Jack. You'd be a fool to count him out.
Yeah, you really, really would. So Caraton has stolen many a pole positions at the death in this session. He's the holder of I think he's tied with the most pole positions this season. So he's absolutely well able to get himself up to the top of the order. Now we're going to witness the first set of times coming in on the board, waiting for the drivers to cross the line. Jorge Albarol is the first car to cross the line. He goes to the top. Renault behind him as Nicholas Longo goes to the top 106.0, half a second quicker. And now Caraton goes to the top 106.010. So that's the initial benchmark set. That's a very quick time out of the bag. But remember, Barry's fastest time, 105.93. Here comes Jarno then. He fancies to go to the top of the standings. Of course, it's short qualifying. All the times matter early on. Here comes your championship leader. Where does he go in the early part of Q1? 105.9, quicker than Barry went in Q2, and Barry's on a lap at the moment.
Yes, 105.925 makes him the fastest on track. Souza up into P10, and Buraman, as Jack quite rightly said, is out on a fast lap. Chanakinchi up into P4, and Pedreño is out on track as well. There's Buraman. He's making his way around the track now, not setting really a representative time just yet, but he's making his way around the next left-hander, heading down the Retro poster. And he'll be looking to really turn up the heat now, certainly upon this grid order. Plenty of quality drivers, and already we're seeing times well within the 105. So we're looking really, really good right now. Otmir currently leading the fray. Caraton in P2 within a tenth of a second. That is the minimal at this moment, folks. Martinez up into P9 as well for Ferrari. A much improved showing from Ferrari with Prejnader up into P5 as well. Just over 2.5, or just under 2.5 tenths away from Jarno Otmir. Buraman now making his way around the next right-hander. Pedreño up into the top 10, P8, just under 4 tenths of a second in behind Otmir. Here comes Buraman now. Can he go quicker and land himself a blow here at the top end? He's making his way around. Here comes Barry Buraman. Another contender for the title against Jarno Otmir. Is he going to bail? No, he's not landing in time. He's into the pit lane, Jack. But early sign showing Otmir on top.
Otmir at the top, of course. He needs to get the times in early, so that's really good from him. And immediately, his first lap was a 105.9, so we know that he can go quicker than that. The fantastic job. Great job from the Renaults as well. Caraton P2, Longa, of course, in the Renault P3. Chanakinchi up at 4th, and Prejnader much better so far. Really good first lap from him, over 106.171, 2000s front of time at Shootout. But that's the pace that we know from Philip Prejnader. He's incredibly quick. And he's showing now that he was a championship contender at one point. He's out of it, of course, at the moment, but he's showing that he's still got it. Danny Moreno's on a lap at the moment as well. He's coming through Sector 2, 49.8. His current time, here he comes now. The man who's going to play a big role in this championship fight. No time from Barry just yet. 12 minutes left in this session, so plenty of time. Here comes Moreno. Where does he go in the standings? He backs off. He brakes before the line and goes 14th.
Interesting scenes, not showing his full pace, Jack. Moreno down in P14, slowing down. Despite slowing down, only 8 tenths off. Intriguing. I have to say, absolutely intriguing. But you have to wonder whether that's a tactical ploy just to put a banker in. He knows he can set at least another 2 lap times, you would have thought. Otmir is out on track now as well. He's about to obviously set another lap. He's making his way around the next right-hander. And certainly he'll be looking to do some bits yet again. Not utilising any energy. Of course, currently out on his out lap. He lets his teammate Moreno through as they make their way down through the next left-hander. And very shortly, up towards turn, what will be turn 10 into Bico de Pato shortly. And the turn 12, the Marulo as well, before they reach turn 13 at Junchao. And here they go again. It's Otmir there waiting in the midst. We can ride on board with him certainly for this fast lap of his as he makes his way around Junchao. Powering out of the corner now, down the stretch, out of turn 14, past the Akibandar Cares. I'm going to get that name right eventually. Turn 15 now, down through the start-finish straight. And here comes Otmir, down towards turn 1 at the centre S's. He's got Caraton currently on an outlap as well. Remember, he's in P2 as they round the centre S's now on the outset, heading out of turn 3. They'll be bombing down the Retro poster. Here they come now, down towards turn 4. Decidia Delago will beckon in full 8th gear, full throttle, now hits the brakes into the left-handed curb on the outset of Decidia Delago, now round turn 5, down towards the Ferradura at turn 6. And again, just very easy on the throttle, powers it right back through turn 7 into turn 8. and very shortly down towards the Pinarino at turn 9. And again, a very progressive corner this one. Around the next left, turn 10 is next. Pico de Pato at turn 11. And rounding it, he does so. Again, a little bit subtle on the throttle. You need to do that in order to get a nice easy exit. Marulo the exit, turn 12 into Junchao now at turn 13. And rounding the next left-hander at turn 14, Otmir on a flyer. Certainly, he was purple in Sector 1. It's been taken off him now, but he can go quicker here as he comes past the paddock here on the left-hand side. Jarno Otmir to land another blow. It's a 105.891. And again, scales down that delta time. Exceptional stuff, Jack. And also, just to point out, we've broken a viewer record. 314, folks. You mad, crazy lot.
Wow, incredible. Here comes Caraton, super close, 105.928, went purple in the last sector, but Longay's not having a good time, but as Barry, there he is, to the top, 105.846 provisional pole position for Barry Burmans, and he goes half a tenth quicker than that man behind him, Jarno Otmir. Thought I would shoot a great fourth place at the moment for him. Longay, he has got the fast time in Sector 1, but he keeps invalidating George. He's not having the best time of it in Sector number 1, but how close is that between our championship leaders?
It was so close, and here comes Lewis Welch as well. There's plenty of cars out on track right now, folks. Absolutely scintillating scenes here at the Brazilian circuit of Interlagos. Here comes Louis Welch, and he'll no doubt be looking to pose a bit of an imposition on the rest of this order. Do not count him out. Dylan Warren is in the midst of it as well, looking to fight his way through. Andreas Dormeyer for Racing Point as well up into P9. But here comes Lewis Welch now, round the next left-hander for Haas. Coming round the bend here, past the paddock yet again. Can he land himself on top spot yet again with another fast lap time? He's about to start it now. Dylan Warren up into P9. Exceptional stuff there by the young British man. Both Racing Points, Jack, in the top 10.
Yeah, great stuff from Dylan and from Dormeyer. Exactly 100th between the both of them. So great job. He's done an extra lap on those soft tyres. Not a big deal. Of course, they've got a short lap round here. Simon Shootout, a really good performance from him at the moment. An Alfa Romeo up in P4. But he's just off behind of our Caraton. So it's Barry, Jarno and Alvaro who are the men in the top 3, of course. And the only guys in the 105s. Now, I'm pretty sure Danny Moreno is trying for P11. He's having a go to see if he can get himself on the alternate strategy right here as well, and see if he can help out his teammate in some way. They're going to split the strategy at Merck, and we'll wait to see what's going to happen here. So really intriguing stuff here, but Barry, he's trying to go for 8-1 to Jarno.
He certainly is. It's going to be very tight indeed. How fitting is it, Jack, to see those two at the top end? I have to say, it's what dreams are made of, isn't it? This is what this broadcast wants to see. An even fight. P1 Burman, P2 Otmir, at least for now. Can we see it? That is the big question. Caraton's not far behind, though, just under a tenth of a second. And here's this man who's also looking to strike an in position. Longay about to set his fast lap very shortly. He's got to come across the line first before he can start. And as he does so, you can see there the crowds on the right-hand side here at the Interlagos circuit here in Brazil. Coming into turn 1 and out of turn 2 shortly as well. The center S's and the Renault no doubt looking too. He wasn't the quickest there though, Jack, heading through the center S's. I don't think he'd be too happy about it, but he's doing his utmost, heading down the stretch at the Reta Aposta. Now through turn 1. In fact, he wasn't too bad at all. Purple sector 1, Jack. Not a bad way to start.
Yeah, that's the pace he was on before he invalidated. It hasn't managed to invalidate it this time, luckily for Nicholas Longay. So he's the fastest man in sector number 1 and he's gone quicker by 700ths on top of his previous time. It's a really good effort from him. Jari Fitz gets out of the way on him there. Here's Nicholas Longay now coming through the middle sector, 16.301 in the first sector, which is 600ths quicker than the fastest man, Barry Burman. Here he comes to the middle sector now. We're keeping an eye on those sectors. Middle sector for him now 2/10 up on his best. And that is a brilliant sector 2. He's purple again by a 10th in the middle sector. This is going to be the pole time from Nicholas Longay. This is going to be a rapid time from the Frenchman in the Renault. Here he comes towards the start-finish line. Will it be a provisional pole for Nicholas Longay? It is a 5.734 by a 10th of a second. Longay, brilliant lap.
Bear in mind, Jack, his record in practice was a 105.5. He is only just under 2.5 tenths of a second off his fastest lap. Nicholas Longay is not messing around here tonight. Barry Burman is out and about to score his lap as well. He's currently in P2. Otmi is down in P3. And what a sensation here. And I did say it, Longuet is here, a man on a mission in the Renault car. And just look at the top end. Longuet, Burman, Otmi, Caraton. It's a who's who of the Pro Series, folks. Further down as well, you've got Thyman Shooters. Jarno Otmier lands a 105.716. Have some of that, Longuet, he says. Up to turn 1, or round turn 1 into turn 2. Sensational, a 105.716. The Flying Dutchman is a man also on a mission, Jack. Yeah, we seem to be losing the audio feed there on Jack slightly. I think the volume's quite low, Jack. I think we've just dipped it slightly.
Sorry, I had my mixer down, sorry. I had it turned down.
You're forgiven. You're forgiven. It's crazy. Yeah, no, sorry about that, folks. Unfortunately, just a couple of technical itches there, but he is back with us. But like you said, Barry Burman not able to quite hook it up here, but he's into P3 nevertheless. But naturally, I'm sure he would want some more. Otmir on top, Longuet P2, Burman P3, Caraton in P4. Epic stuff indeed. Thyman Shooter down in P5. Louis Welch out and about as well. He's going to look to go quicker as well. Ruben Vallejo in P7. Currently, what looks to be Dylan Warren out on an outlap as well. Souza is out and about. So is Alberola. He's out and about as well. Still plenty of options here in amongst the best of them as we now watch all these drivers wind their way around this circuit. We have got just over, folks, approximately 4 minutes remaining. We're within the 4th minute anyway, nearly 3 minutes in fact. It's gonna get so saucy here as they were watching these cars round their way through. You can see the two Hasses in tandem there. Of course, Jorge Alberola, Louis Welch's teammate, as they make their way up towards the long straight. But Jack, 3 minutes remaining. It's a straight shootout now at the top end. Otmir, Longuet, Burman, and Caraton in P4, don't forget. Again, I'll say it again, that's stuff dreams are made of, isn't it?
It certainly is. There's a tenth between them, between the top three. Otmir on a 7.16, Barry on an 8.14, and he knows where he can improve, and that's in Sector 2. That is where he is losing his time. He didn't nail his Sector 2 compared to his best, so he can improve, but he has that Sector 1 absolutely hooked up, does Barry Burman. So he knows that he's got the pace to do it. This is going to be the closest qualifying, the most important qualifying of the year. Advantage Jarno Otmir. If that were to finish this way, hypothetically in the race, Jarno Otmir would win the title, and Nicolas Longuet, as we predicted, is the man that's going to cause the problems. He's going to slot himself between these guys. He's going to cause issues for the provisional pole sitter, Jarno Otmir, of course. He's out to win, is Nicolas Longuet. He doesn't care about the championship. He wants to win.
Yeah, no, and it's going to get so tight. I'm just seeing comments there as well. Lucas Blakely, of course, for those of you who don't know, Aston Martin esports driver, of course. And even he's commented saying last runs are going to be spicy. And we totally agree with you, Lucas. He even says this is insane to watch. It certainly is. I mean, you're not seeing anything quite like this, guys, anywhere else. This is absolutely insane. Unless, of course, you're watching the Pro Series, of course, as Longuet makes his way out of the final few bends to commence his fast lap now with just over 1.5 minutes remaining. It's going to get absolutely insane, folks. Here comes the Renault down towards turn 1 now, where he'll then commence the center S's. Here comes Longuet, and certainly not going to take the long way around. He's going to go the fast way around. Here he comes, round the next left-hander. Down the stretch shortly at Retta Aposta. Comes past, there's a Mercedes on the left-hand side, I believe, coming into turn 1. Sector 1, he's purple. And just over, or should I say, well within half a tenth of a second, making his way down through the next stretch into the Ferragura at turn 6. He's got to dodge all this traffic and yet settle a real fast lap time here now. He's only got a minute or so left on the table here, folks. This is his last chance for Longe to at least hold on to the top end. A little mistake there potentially through turn 9, but he's okay. Turn 10 now. Surely out of Pico to Pato at turn 11. Heading down through the Marulo at turn 12. Now look at the traffic, folks. The traffic there, all in the way, but Longe so composed. Coming out of Junchao at turn 13. Rising up now, up to the stadium section at Arquibandancadas as they make their way. Round turn 15 now. The stretch beckons. Nicholas Longe, what are you going to give us? He's going to go on to top spot with a 105.707. Absolute seeds here. We're within a minute left.
Jarno up here, purple sector 1. This is the biggest lap of Jarno's championship so far. He's got to get this. Round the middle sector, he's purple by just 8 thousandths of a second in sector 1. I'm watching the times of Barry as well. Barry's just begun his lap now. Settle in, checker fly will come out in 5 seconds time. Here comes Jarno. What's his sector 2? It's purple by a 10th. Jarno Upmer's on an absolute flyer. Barry Burman is down by 2/10 in sector number 1. It's not enough by the looks of it. Here comes Jarno Upmer. Will this be pole in Brazil for the Dutchman? He comes across the line. It is a 105.616, a 10th ahead of Nicholas Longe. Absolutely brilliant lap. Barry's backed out of his lap. Can anyone else beat him is the question. We're keeping an eye on everybody behind. It doesn't look like it. Caraton is down. Jarno Upmer is on pole provisionally for the Brazilian Grand Prix with a stunning lap.
A 105.617, enough to scoop up P1 here in the latter stages of qualifying. Liam Parnell goes up to P10. Chanakinchi is in P6, but Vallejo stabs him in the dark, takes P6 himself. Burramander's backed out of his lap. Longe is on the front row for now. Caraton coming around the final part of the circuit now, soon to cross the line. No, Williams not going to taste gold yet again. Can he do that? P3 for Caraton relegates Burraman to the second row of the grid in 4th place. Caraton in P3. Exceptional though. Jarno Opmeer, the Flying Dutchman. He's up for the title and he's on pole to do it. Sensational, Jack.
Absolutely stunning lap from Jarno. He knew he needed that and he took it by 900ths of a second. Absolutely sensational. And the fact that we smashed the viewer record at the end of Q, at the end of qualifying with 450 viewers. What are you guys doing to here at PSGL? Jarno Upmer on pole, Longe second, but Caraton has done Jarno a massive service. He's relegated Barry back to 4th place and the second row of the grid. Lewis Welch, how about Lewis though? Brilliant qualifying, P5 for the Haas, and Vallejo up in P6 as well. Well, this is set up to be an absolute brilliant end to the championship. But Jarno, he's got the advantage heading into the race.
Yeah, he certainly does, and that's exactly what he wanted. Jarno Opmeer, the Flying Dutchman, the man who's going for the title. He's on top in the Mercedes with the 105.616. Nicholas Longe in P2. Alvaro Caraton in P3 with Barry Burman P4, Lewis Welch P5, Ruben Vallejo in P6, Chana Kinchi in P7, Thyman Shooter in P8, Ruben Pedreño in P9, Felipe Souza P10, Liam Parnell P11, Tom Martinez in P12, Philip Prejnader in P13, with Andreas Dormeyer P14, Dylan Warren P15, Danny Moreno P16. Disappointing for the Mercedes team. Yari Fitz P17, Pablo Hoglar in P18, Jorge Albrola 19, Alex O'Grady 12 years of age at the back of the grid, folks. But wow, Jack, Opmeer for the title. He's on the front row of the grid, and to top it all off, he's got Burman behind him. This is possibly the best position for Jarno to be in right now.
Yeah, and he's going to, I think Barry's going to really struggle now. Jarno's got the track position and he's got 2 cars between himself and Barry. That's a big advantage. But the thing is, the man he's got alongside him is Nicholas Longe. And we know these guys fight tooth and nail in league races, these two. It's going to be a brilliant battle. And Caraton's up there as well. It's not all over, ladies and gentlemen, but Jarno's got a big advantage. If it were to finish like this, he would win the title, of course. That's a given, but nothing is impossible going into this race. It's all clear weather, no chance of any rain as far as we're aware. and it's going to be an absolutely brilliant race. It's Otmir, Longay, Caraton, Burman, your top 4, and Lewis Welch in for the mix as well.
Well, folks, I got to say, I want to hear from you. What was your reaction after that qualifying session? Hit us up in the live chat, folks. We want to hear from you. Who was your man of the moment? Who surprised you? Who didn't? Who did you think could have done better? Hit up the live chat, folks. We want to hear from you, and we'll read out some of your comments as well. But amazing. I have to say, folks, we race here every Thursday, but nothing ever settles in for us, folks. It is always something new, something magical, and it's true. We've come here again. It's just scintillating, folks. We're about to start, of course, the formation lap. Clapperstein 180. Longay was impressive, and lots of people saying that this is a great lead. Greatest of all time. Goodness J, gone for Jarno Otmir. Jarno was his man of the moment. Jack, who was your eye catcher in that one?
I think Nicholas Longay, that's his best qualifying that we've seen at PSGL. We know he's worked hard, so definitely an eye catcher. We know Longay is rapid, and but he's got a tough opponent in Jarno Otmir in front of him. But also not lost. Caraton, really good qualifying as well. I think Caraton has put the spanner in the works for Barry by relegating him to P4. It's going to be very tricky for Barry to recover from this, but we know Barry will never, ever give up. He will fight to the last moment possible, and Brazil always throws up a surprise as well. Well, a big surprise, to be honest, George. Danny Moreno down in 16th, but on the medium strategy.
Yeah, that is, I got to say, one of the more surprising scenarios that we've witnessed. I did not ever expect that, Jack, because Moreno and Otmir have known to be working together throughout most of the season. We've seen it so many times already, but nevertheless, I'm sure he will have an impact in some fashion in this race. Naturally, there's still loads of laps for these drivers to try and negotiate, but nevertheless, Jack, we want to hear from you, folks. Your top 3 predictions, hit him up. Obviously, keep talking in the chat. We want to hear from you. Record-breaking here at PSGL. Record-breaking audience. You guys are absolutely out of this world. It's a pleasure to be bringing this to you on a Thursday night. We can never get more excited than this as they line up here for the start of this Grand Prix. The grand finale of the very first PSGL PC Championship season is upon us. I tell you what, folks, it's going to be a corker. Brace yourself. You can see there, Gunrang Penenze, Jarno, Barry, Nicholas. Go on, Tom, says Rebecca Hazelwood, Clapperstein, Jarno, Longay and Barry, Job van Pever, Jarno, Barry, Nicholas. They're all lining up, folks. The formation lap has come to an end. First light, second light, third light, fourth light, the fifth light. And it's pedal to the metal for the last time this season. Jarno Otmir gets away extremely well. Longay goes in behind straight away, but the Dutchman takes no prisoners, asks no questions. He's in P1. Out of the center S's. Jarno's on a flyer from the get-go. Longay in behind as well. This movement to the back. You can see there Barry Burman in the mix. Louis Welch, they're in the mix too. But there, look at that. I've got to say, as they cascade through turn 4 out of Decidia Delago. It's Otmir on top. Longay in second, Caraton P3, but Louis Welch up in a P4. Burman had a horrific start.
Yeah, Barry's had a virtual safety car is out immediately for Pablo Hoglar. Disastrous start for Barry Burman, losing 2 places off the line. Didn't get the start. Jarno didn't get the best start, but compared to Nicholas Longay, but he managed to hold it. But the virtual safety car immediately out. But that's not what Barry needed. Lewis Welch and Ruben Vallejo jumping him in this first part. There was front wings flying around in turn number 3. I couldn't quite see who it was. I'm checking Barry's wing right now, and it seems to be okay. But that is not the start that he wanted. Down in P6 now with Timon Shootout behind him. Pablo Hogler, the first victim. Virtual safety car now comes in back under green flag. But Jarno Otmir's done the job, and he leads after lap 1.
He certainly does. Jarno Otmir getting a blistering start and goes ahead of Nicholas Longay. And I have to say, still very much in tandem though. Do not count your chickens, folks. This race is far from over. 36 laps of racing. We got 34 more to go. Still plenty in the offing as they rush down Retro Poster again. Longay almost losing the gap on Jarno. If anything, Caraton looks more dangerous as they cascade through Decidia Delago. Burman there as well. Knows he needs to get to work. He is currently stuck behind Ruben Vallejo. Thyman Shooter down in P7 as well. But just look at this, all in tandem. Otmir, Longay, Caraton, Louis Welch though. What a start from that man as well. Who can forget the pad man, who has been absolutely extraordinary already. And Ruben Vallejo out of nowhere up into P5, Jack. We seem to have lost Jack's feed there, folks, but we will hear from him back shortly. We're just watching these guys cascade down through the next left. Otmir currently on top. Longe in P2. Caraton still up there in P3, but look at the deficits. Nothing between them. Burraman now trying to chase here on Ruben Vallejo. They come out to the next left-hander, shortly down the straight. And on the left-hand side, the paddock where the pit lane is, of course, fastest lap on the board by Jarno Otmir. Looking to hose up all the points here today, which will certainly go a long way into securing his world title here today. Of course, Mercedes already winning the constructors, and certainly he'll want to win the drivers. They'll want to do the double. The DRS now opens up in the back end now. This time for Barry Burraman. He's gone clear of Thyman Shooter ever so slightly. Another 3/10 garnered by that man in the McLaren. But look at that at the top end. Otmir really trying to pull away from Longe. He's getting closer and closer to the 8/10 mark. Caraton as well, fighting to stay in the midst of Longe as well. So it's really going to be strung out. Everyone's going bananas here in terms of the start of this Grand Prix. Sensational. Dylan Warren trying to gain on Martinez. Jack, are you back with us?
Absolutely, I wouldn't miss this for the world, so I would keep an eye while I was sorting out the issues in the background. Moreno's up to P10. What a brilliant start from Danny Moreno, 16th up to 10th, and now he's the first car on the strategy of the medium, so that's a big advantage for Danny Moreno. He's done the job. Otmir and Longe have basically driven away so far. Otmir now 0.8 of a second clear, but he's not managed to get away from that DRS of Nicholas Longe. So Caraton's still behind, Welch still in P4, Barry's now stuck in the DRS train, he's struggling, and this is really not where he wants to be in this early phase. As we see in the background, side-by-side action between Thyman Shooter and Chanakinchi. Akinchi's going through, no contest for him, and he's up to P7.
He is indeed, Chanakinchi, with a great move indeed for the Renault team, up to P7. And certainly a very formidable force indeed here at PSGL. We've seen him race quite a few times. Has been very much in the midst of battling in the past and never writes him off. He has finished in the points before. He will surely do it again. Representing, like I said, the Renault team. Thyman Shooter down in P8 now. Recent signee to Veloce Esports. And also a very talented young man as well. Parnell in behind Moreno right now. Looking further up, you can see there that Otmir has managed to string out slowly but surely on Nicholas Longe, but not quite enough to break the DRS. As we can now watch them hightail their way down through the start-finish straight. Still holding the fastest lap is the Flying Dutchman. And also, Barry Burman looking to close up as well. You can count on the fact that DRS being active is going to make a huge difference heading into the latter stage of this Grand Prix. But look at this. They're cascading now through turn 1, down through the center S's. And very surely, once again, the rear wing will open up on all these cars. And we're going to be seeing more moves potentially in the offing at the start of this Grand Prix. But we're only lap 5 of 36 in, folks. You're going to be in for one hell of a ride.
Yeah, certainly is, but I think Otmir's vulnerable, George. He's got absolutely no ERS. He's tried desperately to break the DRS, and it hasn't worked. And Long has been able to save it up and stay behind the Dutchman here. So Otmir's not in the optimal position at the moment. Longe has got the advantage of ERS to use to get away to get in front of Jarno Otmir. As guys, what are you all doing over PSGL? 500 viewers broken on this last race of the season. You guys are at mental stuff. Absolutely mental.
Yeah, sensational, guys. I mean, what can I say? I gotta say, breaking records is what we like to do. As we now watch Jarno Otmir cascade through the final few bends. Amazing stuff. The Mercedes on top billing here currently on the top. Certainly looking to secure this Drivers' Championship. Tyre conditions still looking good at the moment. As you can see from the graphic on the right-hand side, only 70% wear. So 30% wear used on those tyres. They're certainly nice and fresh as daisies right now. Only 6 laps in. Still plenty to go as they're coming down the long stretch now into the next left-hander at turn 4. To City Del Lago next. Longe, though, is all over him like a nasty rash. Has not gone away from the rear end as Danny Moreno makes his way up into P9, dropping Thyman Shooter as well in the midst. And amazing stuff indeed. Moreno is on a severe charge, Jack.
Yeah, he is. He's flying on these medium tyres and also saving his ERS at the same time, which he's so good at doing. Gets past Thyman Shooter. Next up is the Brazilian Felipe Souza, who's up in the top 10 at the moment, but he might fall victim to Moreno, who's trying to make up places as quickly as he can. As Souza goes a bit wide there, Moreno now is the man with the advantage of the tyres. Of course, the softs will start to just degrade a little bit, but Moreno's flying on the mediums. He likes these tyres by the looks of it, and he's using them to good effect as we go across the line to begin another lap. Longe still keeping Jarno Opmeer honest, and he's really closing up to him now, George.
Yeah, here comes Moreno on the outside here, coming into the center S's, and he scoops up that man, Felipe Souza. Liam Parnell at jeopardy here. He might be able to hang on to P10. Simon Shootout getting dropped down to P11. What a move by the McLaren as they come round that next left-hander. Down the straight now. This time a Retro Imposter. Can he hold on to it as they come through to the next left-hander? He does indeed. The McLaren upper spot. Sensational stuff here in lap 7. Already we're seeing the movements taking place, but the news is this. Danny Moreno up into P8. What a charge for that man.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant from Moreno. This is what he's known for. He's starts that alternate strategy, makes it work, and he's now chasing up the Chanakichi. He could really put a spanner in the works for Barry Buravand and really make it difficult for him as we about to begin lap number 8. Opmeer opening the gap slightly. He's now saving up his ERS, but Longe, with about 70% charge in that battery, has got enough to try and get past this man if he wants to do so. DRS open as they head towards turn number 1. Longe's getting closer and closer each lap. He's lining up Jarno Opmeer for a pass. He'd love to win this Grand Prix, and he's certainly doing enough to stay with the Dutchman here through turn 1, through the Senna S as they go. Round the left-hander once again. DRS will open for Longe. Does he go for the overtake? Opmeer not going defensive. Does Longe go for it now? I don't think so. He's still staying behind, saving the ERS. He's lining up for a tactical move as Moreno's already cut up the Chanakichi.
He has indeed, Jack. He's only literally approximately half a second away. Jarno Opmeer currently at the mercy, though, of the Frenchman Nicolas Longe, and you get to wonder whether Nicolas is just waiting for the right time. Just patience is a virtue here at Brazil, not a privilege, as we now see the Dutchman coming around the middle sector. Fastest lap in for the Dutchman right now. P1, at least for now. The Mercedes in the midst of a real highly pressurized situation. Here comes the Renault of Nicolas Longe. Potential for an overtake here on the main straight. Can he do it as they rise up now through turn 14? The Archibancadas now watching on as these cars come blistering around these final few bends of lap 8. Here they come now, down through the stretch. Longe having a little look. The DRS open, no move made. He's going to wait till the long straight as they ride down through the center S's once again, all in tandem. DRS will open up for Nico once again. Will he choose to pick his spot to make a move, or not this time as he tries to weave his way through, down through the stretch now once again? No, he's holding back, Jack. Not keen to make a move just yet. You get the feeling this is absolutely tactical.
Yeah, it really is. Barry's now made it back up to P5. Lovely overtake of Ruben Vallejo into turn 1. He snuck up the inside, and now he's caught back up to Lewis Welch. So now he's now a part of that lead battle. So Barry's back in this now. Ideally, he should be in the place of Lewis Welch. As there's Danny Moreno down the inside. P7 for him. This is a phenomenal rise from Danny Moreno on the medium tyres. He's only 3 seconds away from the lead battle, and he started on the medium compound tyre. Phenomenal. Moreno, I tell you what, George, he could be in with a shot of winning this race if he keeps that alternate strategy going the way he's going. He's absolutely flying, doing everything right at the moment. As out front we see what's going to go on. Opmeer still holding position. Longe also holding position, but he's getting very close towards turn 1. Does he do it this time? No, he breaks and holds position. He's still happy to stay behind Opmeer into turn 1, and he's not going for that overtake just yet. He wants to obviously wait until maybe Opmeer pits first. Maybe he's trying to force Opmeer to pit early.
Yeah, maybe. A very tactical ploy indeed. Moreno obviously looking to pull off a tactical masterclass as well, starting on the medium tyres up into P7. Extraordinary race from Moreno so far, and certainly utilising that compound to the best of this, certainly the best of his ability. Ruben Pedreño is out of the session as well. We've lost Pablo Hoglar as well. Simon Shootout down in P18, so I'm not sure quite what's happened to those two, but they are out of the race. The AlphaTauri and the Red Bull team now both one-legged as they're now making their way down through the middle sector now. There you can see Longe just eyeing up Jarno. There's a huge train of cars now littered up across this circuit. Opmeer in a really difficult situation. Certainly with his ERS count right now, he's trying to charge it up, I think, at this moment in time. Longe is only half a second behind. We're just watching and waiting for this all to unfurl as they come up nose to tail now. Longe still being patient. He might get an opportunity heading down the next long straight. Will he want to open it up up here on the Dutchman. We're not quite sure. Heading down into the center S's now, and still in tandem. This train continues as they make their way out now. Round turn 3. Chance in the offing again here for Nicholas Longue. Will he open up the DRS and probe for a move as they come down towards turn 4? This time at Decidia Delago, he does not open up. He's holding on, at least for now, and all this. And I do wonder, Jack, is he trying to bring Moreno into this race?
Yeah, that's a very valid point, George. He could be trying to get Moreno to catch up to this train and get him to try and take points away from Barry Burrow. Whatever Jarno was doing, it's definitely a tactic at Merck, and Moreno's done everything right to catch up to the back of that train. He's only 3.3 off the back, but Jarno is also trying to save his ERS back up. He's been trying to get it back up to 50% charge, which he has done, but Longa's got a full charge in the battery, and now Otmir's trying to get away. He's used up a little bit. As Longa's made a little bit of an error through there. Carrots-on, I think, might fancy a chance to get past here, but he's not been able to do so. Round the last corner they come. DRS open for Longue. He's getting closer and closer towards turn 1. Does he go for it this time? No, he breaks again and stays behind. So he's happy to sit behind his rival right here and try to catch up, but it's still a 6-car train for the win. Moreno's 3.3 off the back, so Moreno will be the thorn in the side for Barry Burman later on in this race. But Barry is on the back of the train. He's hunting down Lewis Welch, who's going defensive into the next corner to the seat of the Lago. But Barry is not out of this yet. They cannot relax.
No, they can't, Jack. He's still very much in this fight, and still he is getting frustrated and certainly held off by that man Louis Welch, who's having an extraordinary race once again here today. Still up there fighting despite being on the pad. Absolutely extraordinary performance from Louis Welch here so far here today, and it's great to see this grid getting tighter and tighter as we go around. Ruben Vallejo even getting himself in the mix as well, and you can see there Danny Moreno closing the gap as well within the 2-second delta. He is getting closer and closer now as they rise their way up through Junchao yet again. We're on lap 12 of 36, and still Longue seems to be losing it off the back of Otmir here. Might be a chance though with DRS as they cascade now through the straight once again. Will Longue try and break it this time? They come down towards the center S's. The Renault gets tighter and tighter, opens it up for a potential late move. Not this time. Hugs behind now. Jarno Otmir, maybe a chance though, down through the Retro poster. Still this string of 6 cars, very much in tandem, but certainly Longue is in a double, certainly on the edge of a double-breasted sword here. Looking behind, you've got Carroton looking to fight back here as well. It's so tight, Jack, it's hard to know when they're making the moves, but I'm sure when they do, it's going to have very grave circumstances.
I think the tactic you're thinking of, George, where he's trying to bring Moreno in, I think is actually what's going on, because he's brought the gap down to 2.7 seconds. Longue is still staying behind, but Jarno's done a brilliant job because he's forced Longue to use his ERS, and now they've got the same ERS level. I don't know how Jarno's managed to do that, but he's forced Longue to use his ERS, and Otmir saved it and stayed in front, and now they're on similar levels up in the lead. But Moreno is absolutely flying up to the back of this train now. 2.1 seconds, 2 seconds it goes down to now. So Moreno is on an absolute flyer. Otmir's backing them up into it. Moreno is going to be the man as Vallejo and Barry pits. He's going for an early undercut.
Yeah, early undercut for Barry Burman. He had to do something, Jack. This was the time. And whether this will spring Longue to maybe attack Otmir, we'll have to wait and see. Moreno, like you say, though, getting so close currently in behind. Currently trying to close up and swarm on this grid, albeit he's further down. Now Longue going for the move on the inside. And he's made the first move here at the top. Certainly the Dutchman could not hold it back for this much longer. And certainly Longue, the Frenchman, first blow to that of the Renault. Up into P1, Jack.
Yeah, he certainly is, and Moreno's not too far off the back of this train. Lewis Welch is nibbling all over the back of Carroton as well. Lewis Welch is having a phenomenal race up here at the top end on the pad, doing it for all the pad users at home. But Longue leads the Brazilian Grand Prix. Barry has pitted early, and he's now come out in clean air on the hard tyres, 4.9 seconds off the back of Alex O'Grady. Now, does anybody else peel into pit lane? Longue is trying to open up the gap, and Carroton is now on the back of Otmir right now. What does Otmir do? Does he pit or does he not? Longue stays out, as does Otmir. Carroton stays out. Lewis Welch dives in.
Yeah, Lewis Welch in the pits now, going for his first stop. Moreno moves up to P4 as a result, and he will join up with the others. Eventually, you'll see that Black Arrow making its way around the center S's. There, you just caught him in the camera there. But Caraton now looking very dangerous with the DRS open. Can he get right in the midst here of Jarno Opmeer? Certainly the Spaniard not lacking in any pace as they round now through Decidio Del Lago, through turn 5 now. Longuet in front. In behind, you've got Jarno Opmeer still tagging all over the rear end of that Renault of Nicolas Longuet. In behind, you got Caraton into P3, as well as Moreno. The two Mercedes back in tandem, P2 and P4 to boot. Big points once again for Mercedes. They've already won the team's title, but obviously there are bigger things afoot here. And I have to say, we're watching on the edge of our seats, folks. We're not sure where this is going to go. Burremand has gone for an earlier stop. He's down in P13. Can it work, Jack?
Yeah, he's gone for the hard tyres. Interesting. He's not confident the mediums can make it. Lewis Welch has pitted onto the medium tyres, but he's come out behind Vallejo, who has undercut him. So beautiful job from Alfa Romeo to get him out in front of the Haas. But Barry's now clear of both of them as Longuet pit on the lead, and Jarno now takes lead of the Brazilian Grand Prix with Caraton in tow. He
does indeed. Now, where this might spoke Caraton to actually make a move here. Naturally, if they're boxing now, he will want to get any advantage possible on the in-lap. We'll have to wait and see. Or will Jarno finally push here? He's already trying to pull out a delta on that Williams. There you can see Alvaro Caraton right in behind him here, trying to get nose to wing with that of the Flying Dutchman, heading out to Decidio Del Lago, heading down the stretch now, leading to Ferragura. All season long, it's been Mike Tyson and Holyfield between Opmeer and Burremand, and naturally here Thyman Shooter out to the race as well as Longuet comes out the pit lane. He now joins Chad Akinci in P15 and Akinci in P16, but further up Burremand now up to P12, trying to roam up on Alex O'Grady, but he's got to try and pull it back by approximately 3 to 4 seconds.
Yeah, but the problem is George Long has been undercut by all of these guys, by Lewis Welch, by Vallejo, and by Barry. So great job by Barry Burremand. He now takes essentially the lead on the strategy. So Jarno's going to come out right in this train. Does he box? Yes, he does. Jarno Opmeer in. Caraton stays out to take the lead of this race. Moreno will of course carry on. He's on an alternate strategy, but Jarno Opmeer is in from the race lead. This is a big stop for Mercedes now. Comes in. He's going to bolt on the medium compound tyre, and he will come out of the pit. But where is he going to come out? We're looking for Barry Burremand. He's coming down the pit straight now. He's clear of Vallejo by about 0.4 of a second. Here comes Jarno to the pit exit. There's Barry on the outside line on the hard compound tyre. He should get track position here, which is what Barry needs. Where does Opmeer come out? He's going to come out behind all of those guys. Longuet's going for a move on Lewis Welch now as he tries to slipstream by the Haas. He goes up the inside and dives up the inside of Vallejo. Wonderful move from the Frenchman, but Vallejo's going to come straight back at him here. Outside line, up towards the top of the hill. Who's going to get there first? Vallejo's going to hang around the outside. Contact between the both of them, but Longuet slots in front. Welch goes up the inside, but Barry, that's exactly what he needed to see, and Opmeer's behind all of them.
He is indeed, and the battle still rages on between Vallejo and Louis Welch, still nose to tail, wheel to wheel, and the two medium compound drivers meet to get a switchback from Vallejo, looking to try and get in the mix, but not this time. Looking behind them as well, Opmeer, he's being allowed to be brought into this race, but still the battle rages on. But what a masterstroke from Barry Burremand. He's now ahead of Opmeer through the pit stop phase. Those hearts will go to the end as Opmeer now looking to try and put a spoke in the wheel of the championship. Coming through turn 1, beats past his opponent there. Vallejo relegated. Opmeer moves up yet another spot.
Absolutely brilliant. Jarno's through, but now he's going to get past Lewis Welch, the best pad driver in the world. Here he comes. He's raced him before, so there's no contest put up by Lewis Welch, and Jarno goes through now. He's in net P3. Is Jarno Opmeer as Danny Moreno now leads this race. Now Danny's going to be the key to this race. Jarno's through, and now he's got Longuet and Barry up front, but Barry is on the hard compound tyre. He's not confident those mediums can get to the end without dropping off. He wants to be safe to the end of those hards so that he can push until the very end of this race. The question is, can he make, or can the mediums make it this far? We're pretty sure they can, but how bad is the wear going to be later on this race? Barry's opted for track position over the faster compound. Let's see if it pays off for him.
Yes, this is absolutely absolutely crucial now, folks. Obviously, Otmir needs to get moving, needs to look busy on these medium tyres while they're effective. Don't forget as well, Buraman can go to the end, folks, very easily. Keep your eyes on that man, because of course he's going to be relentless. Movement going on in the background as we're seeing already. Movements there between the halves, once again between the Alfa Romeo, Ruben Vallejo and Louis Welch, wheel to wheel out of the center S's, heading out of the left-hander. Boom, bam, thank you, bam. It's going to be Vallejo holding on. DRS activated for Louis Welch as well, heading down towards Decidia Delago. No movement made back, phenomenal scenes. Vallejo holds on to P12.
Longay's just overtaken Barry, so Longay takes the net race lead at the moment on this strategy. So now that puts Barry out of position for the title. Jarno's now right on his tail. The championship contenders are now next to each other on the road, but Longay's got through Barry. His strategy is nearly falling apart in front of his eyes unless something happens later on in this race. He's hoping those tyres die at the end of the race, but now Longay's through, and Jarno now is surely going to try and get himself through past Barry to secure himself this title as it comes through the last corner now. Overtake on, trying to get that DRS on Barry. Barry will have the DRS on Longay as well, of course, down towards turn 1, but Otmir will not try anything untoward here as a bunch of medium runners pit. We've had Liam into the pit lane and a few others as Caraton takes the fastest lap of the race, as side by side Caraton round the outside into turn 1. Senes bags wheel with Lewis Welch and goes through with a lovely overtake on Lewis Welch, and Caraton moves up into P9. That was brave stuff from the Spaniard, and he moves up behind his Spanish counterpart Ruben Vallejo.
He does indeed, and we're watching this trailer cars come out to Decidia Delago. Otmir right on the tail of Barry Buraman, the two championship contenders. Otmir having a look down the inside of that McLaren as they come around the next right. Buraman knows he needs to try and stay ahead. He cannot afford to lose the Dutchman. Needs to frustrate him, needs to wear out those tyres as they come through the next left-hander. Now up through to the next right. There you can see Longay in the distance. Round in the next right yet again. Very shortly they'll round the next left. This before heading up towards Junchao at turn 13. Just take a look at this, folks. It's absolutely blistering. It's beautiful. It's epic. Jarno Otmir now coming out of Junchao, rounding turn 14. They're coming past the Aki Bandaras now, and round through turn 15, now through the start-finish straight. Buraman with the DRS, pulling along. Jarno Otmir into the center S as they go. Barry Buraman retakes Nicholas Longay, wheel to wheel between Jarno and Nico, but he can't get it done, Jack.
Yeah, here we go again down towards the Decidia Delago. Otmir's desperate to get through. Barry's got track position. Longay's going to try and get through. Jarno up the middle, surely not. Longay goes back through again. Barry now gets trying to get the switch back on him. This is for a brilliant title battle going on. Barry on the outside. Otmir watches from the wings, but Longay's got the track position. Jarno backs out of it. A smart move from the championship leader, but Longay retakes it. What a battle. But now Caraton's in the battle, as is Vallejo, as is Lewis Welch. But George, 2.5 seconds back on the soft tires. Danny Moreno.
Yeah, Moreno's right in this, Jack. Moreno is really in this. But look at this, though. This battle has been thrilling, intoxicating, mind-numbing. All of it put together here at this last race of the PSGL PC Championship. 15 laps is what remains. It certainly has been a hustle, a tussle, but certainly as they bustle their way down the stretch, in behind you can see there, Jarno Otmir, once again behind Barry Buraman. Still Nicholas Longay frustrating all of them here. They're back in grid order. Barry going deep here into turn 1. Jarno down the outside. This is crucial. The Flying Dutchman. The Dutchman. He's done it. Into P2. He goes ahead of Barry Buraman on the medium tyres and heads his way down towards Decidia Delago. But Barry's back at him, Jack.
What's a move, Jarno Otmir around the outside into turn 1. Does one over on Barry Buraman, and that will seal the title. If it finishes like this, now we can get after Jarno Otmir, but Danny Moreno is closing like a bullet in the background. He will catch up with these guys very soon. But now, Barry's compromised on the hard tyres. Will he fall behind Caraton? Longay's trying to get away, and he may be able to. He's got more ERS to use than Jarno has, but Barry's not going to get himself settled again. Try and charge up that ERS. But Danny Moreno is surely the man who's going to try and win this race. He's got fresh soft tyres, and is now almost within DRS of the train in front. He's surely the tip for the win. As we go back again, this is insane racing the whole way through. as we go towards turn 1. Once again, Longway still in front. Barry holding position behind. I think it might settle down as Carrots-on goes for it on Barry Burman. Can he get it stopped? Barry's going to try and defend, but Carrots-on, he goes off the road and he's through up to P3.
Amazing stuff from Carrots-on, the Spaniard. Electricity in abundance. Up into P3 as Philip Presnader takes the fastest lap of the race, but Otmir now chasing on Nicholas Longay. The Mercedes up into P2. Carrots-on in P3. Burman down in P4. As things stand, Jarno wins the title, surely, and it's absolutely phenomenal. Lap 23 of 36. It's all up in the air here at this moment in time. Anything can happen with all these laps remaining. 13 on the books. It's going to be absolutely pandemonium, folks. Keep your eyes peeled. Look at Carrots-on. He's probing. He's looking menacing here for Williams as they come up through the next left-hander. Really just chugging, huffing and puffing as they come through the next left-hander out of turn 13. Turn 14 next. 15 beckons as they come down the stretch once again. Still on top is Nicholas Longay. He's managed to pull himself back to the lead of this race. Burman potentially in trouble as he dives down the inside.
Vallejo's gone round this outside though, turn 1, it's side by side between them. Oh, Vallejo has to back out of it at the last moment. Barry's really struggling on these hard tyres, almost lose it to Vallejo, but a man who's on an absolute move. Look where he is, Danny Moreno, P6, fresh soft tyres. He's going to absolutely decimate these guys surely in these last few laps. What a strategy from him to get himself up here. He's on for the win if he can get through these guys quickly. He's got 76% ERS charge as we lose Philip Preston from the race, but this is exactly what we hoped from the title finale. It's currently advantage Otmir, but there's still plenty of time left in this race.
Yeah, it is, Jack, but look at Moreno now, diving on the inside of Ruben Vallejo, absolutely brilliant! Danny Moreno, out of nowhere, the man is on a flyer since starting on the medium tyres. Optimum strategy here for Danny Moreno. He is absolutely flying, and he could yet relegate Burman as well. Remember, Burman on the hard tyres, Moreno on softs. Here comes the Spaniard, relentless, as he comes up to turn 1. He's going to take a bite, he's going to take a chunk. He comes in on the inside. The late break into turn 1. Absolutely outstanding from Danny Moreno. Insane maneuver, insane battling, phenomenal strategy. Moreno, the machine, he's up into P4.
This is really reminiscent of the last week, isn't it, with Jarno, but this time it's roles reversed, and now it's Danny Moreno who's pulled off a strategy masterclass and is on the charge through the field. Next up is Carrots-on and Otmir. I'm sure Otmir will not put up a fight against his rival or his teammate as well in this one as they come through the middle sector. They're still so close together. Barry's just got nothing left in the tyres to fight with. Those hard tyres are still not in the optimum window, and those mediums should be safe till the end, but Longay still leads this race. He's still in control, but Moreno is now on the back of Carrots-on the back for the lead battle right here. This is sensational from the Spaniard, Danny Moreno, and now he's going to get past his Spanish counterpart with relative ease here. He's got the DRS and the ERS to try and get past Carrots-on down towards turn 1. He's got the overspeed, he's got the drive, he's up to P3. What a drive, Danny Moreno.
The machine strikes again, battles it out, hydraulics in abundance, he powers the Mercedes through, up into P3, round now, on top of the podium steps, here comes Otmir for the race lead, the Flying Dutchman, Otmir, OP, P1, Mercedes at the top, amazing, Moreno in P3 as well, double podium in the offing, another Mercedes masterclass here, with 10 laps left to go. Otmir, the wizardry, the craziness, the mental security is phenomenal, and he's on top spot again. 0.3 of a second the delta. Incredible race.
This is phenomenal. They're going for the 1-2, George. I reckon Otmir's going to move out of the way for Danny, and he'll hold position in P2. Here comes Moreno with the 70% DRS. Longay is a sitting duck for this man, surely, down towards turn 1. He's going to use a bit of his overtake, use the DRS, but he'll try and be patient as much as he can, because Longay is going to try and come back at Otmir. Down towards turn 1. Outside line for Longay. Sends it around the outside of the centre S's. Lovely move. Nicholas Longay. It's not over yet, George.
It's absolutely stunning. Otmir's not done though. Wheel to wheel action, surely. Moreno in behind. It's all happening here. Otmir with the outside line, coming through to City of Delago, takes the outside route, unconventional, but it works. He certainly does. Amazing scenes here. Moreno's making it a three-man party through the next round now. Omir, Moreno, phenomenal. They're stringing together. It's a scrap. It's a fight. Moreno through. Contact. A Mercedes sandwich. It's Omir on top, Jack.
Wow, that was phenomenal. Otmir made the space for Moreno. Now it's a Mercedes 1-2 still side by side with Longue still there on the outside line. Longue's not getting sideways around. Danny Moreno's around in the last sector. Disaster for Mercedes. Moreno goes around with contact with Longue. Oh, what a shame it's come to an end.
It has indeed, and it's very much is that a Moreno moment. That's for sure. He is out now. It's certainly down the end of the field. Absolute hysteria here in this race, and I have to say it's not going to stop. Omni is still on top, but he's at the mercy now of Nicolas Longue. A real tussle here in this last race of the season. The drama continues in abundance, and certainly Longue is not done yet. He wants another piece of the Mercedes pie. Coming down through to City of Delago. He holds off for now. Omir on top spot. But look at Burman. He is still in this race. P4 currently for the McLaren, Jack.
Barry is not giving up, and now Yarno doesn't have the support of his teammate. He's got no ERS in the battery. Danny's left the session in dismay. Danny Moreno is out of the Brazilian Grand Prix, and that was a sensational drive come to an end at Brazil. But the race up front is not over yet. Yarno leads, Longue second, Caraton third, and it's Barry Burman and P4. Ruben Vallejo having a stellar race in P5. But he has the penalties. That'll put Lewis Welch up in P5. But this is not over. Yara's still in position to win this time, but Longue is desperate to try and take a win in PSGL. That'll go to the stewards, of course, that move that went on there. But down towards turn one, Longue not going to go for it. But Barry's not giving up, George.
No, he's still in the midst of it, Jack. Caraton is just ahead of him. Nothing separates them at the top end. They're spread about with equal deltas. And this time, Otmir is going to be left uncomfortable by Nicolas Longue, the Frenchman, heading into the city. Delago goes in front into P1. Otmir still in P2, though. He knows as long as he stays ahead of Burman, he is in sweet country right now. Heading down towards what will be, of course, Ferragura at turn 6. Turn 7 and 8, Beckett as well. In behind, you can see there Caraton eyeing him up. Burman knows he's still in the fight. Coming around the next left-hander, Jack. It's all, I gotta say, mass hysteria here in Brazil. Otmir's not going down. Longue's not going down. Caraton's not going down. Burman isn't. Vallejo's up there. And what about Louis Welch? What a drive there in P6.
Yeah, he's having a phenomenal race, and after the penalties applied to Vallejo, that will be P5 for him. But of course now, George, the medias will start to go off. Barry senses his opportunity now. Overtake on. He's going to go for it on Caraton at the same time as they come towards turn one. Here comes Barry on Caraton. Big move here. Going to go 3 abreast nearly. Barry's going to go for it on the inside, and it's round the outside from Caraton. What a move from Caraton. Gets through into P2. Now, Barry sees his prey. It's Jarno Otmir in front of him now.
It certainly is. Barry now, the fast Iranian against the Flying Dutchman. Into the next left-hander, the two of them tussling for the championship all season. It's been backwards and forwards, backwards and forwards. Each of them share a string of 3 victories in this championship. Either of them have not broken that trend, but nevertheless, they are here again, meeting each other. It's these two. It is going to be wheel-to-wheel action, surely. The hearts are coming into play. Otmir's medium starting to wear off. This is less than comfortable for the Dutchman. Barry Burman with a huge opportunity to really turn up the heat here on Jarno Otmir. They ran the next left-hander, dumped up through Chun Chao now. I've got to take it easy. My voice box is on the edge. Barry Burman is coming at him here. Every chance with the DRS open. Otmir looking a bit gingy here, Jack. Opportunity here for Burman.
Yeah, Burman now knows he's got his opportunity. He's trying to defend against Vallejo, who's going to try to put a spanner in the works for him. He defends lovely into turn 1, but Barry's got to try and save some ERS here. Yarno has a bit more to defend with, but Caraton's the man on the charge now, trying to get it up past Nicolas Longue up front. Oh, there's contact nearly in the back of Vallejo, trying to get past Barry, but he's sticking behind at the moment. Vallejo is posing problems for Barry Burman at the moment, but Barry is biding his time. This could still come his way. Who knows in these last phases of the Grand Prix, but ideally Barry needs to to be in the lead if he wants a chance at this one. But Caraton is all over the back of Longue. Barry's all over the back of Otmir. And Vallejo's the spanner in the works for them all. But Barry's tyres will start to come into effect now. Those mediums will start to be dying.
They will indeed, Jack. The hearts are going to start to come into play, and Burman licking his lips here with the knowledge that he knows that the other drivers ahead of him are starting to see their tyres deteriorate by the moment. We've got 5 laps of magic left, folks. Near enough 4 laps as they don't cascade through the final couple of bends here in lap 31 of 36. Barry Burman in behind. Longue defending slightly ahead of Caraton. In behind, you can see there Ruben Vallejo trying to get close as he possibly can to the back of Barry Burman, but to no avail right now as they come through the next left-hander. Sensational exchange between all of these guys. It's absolutely out of this world, folks. I tell you what, if you're not liking and subscribing for this, I don't know what you're gonna do, because this has been a sensation, an absolute sensation, Jack.
Wow, we say it every week, race of the season, race of the season. This is right up there already because of the stakes of this. Jarno Watmir is still in P3, Barry in P4, but if Barry does get past, it will still not be enough for Barry to win the title. He needs to be up in P1, and Jarno needs to be P4 for this to work for him. He actually needs, ideally, George, he needs to take the lead and Jarno to hold position and not get the fastest lap, because then it would go to count back and Barry would win.
Well, currently the fastest lap is held by Philip Prechnader, and well, it won't be held for him for long, because remember, he's out of the race, Jack, as we're now watching these drivers now head round the final part of this lap now. Barry Burman inching closer to the Dutchman. Here comes Barry Burman. The hard tyres are really working for him now. Takes the outside line into turn 1. Barry Burman going for glory. No, he can't do it. No opportunity availed. He was blocked off by Caraton, and now he's at the mercy of Ruben Vallejo. Wheel-to-wheel action now, heading towards Decidia Delago. The Alfa Romeo down the left-hand side takes the inside line, and Decidia Delago a spin. Oh my word! Contact, Jack. Contact.
Yeah, the Ruben Vallejo around the outside, but Barry's not going to give in to this one. Contact between them, but Vallejo gets past. That's not what Barry needed. Back up the inside again. Barry dives and gets it back, but that's not what he needed. He's lost time and lost the DRS on Jarno. That's exactly what Jarno needed, and Lewis Welch gets past at the same time, but that is not what Barry needed. That's, I think, lost him his chance at this title. Jarno needs to hold position, and he will win this title.
He will indeed. He will hold on, Jack. 3 laps remaining. This is absolutely out of this world. I cannot believe what we're seeing right now. But Barry might have seen the title slip through his fingers after that exchange there from Ruben Vallejo as they come down through turn 1 now. Barry's still in P4. Look at Otmir in P3. Caraton is literally in the midst himself of a race win. We'll have to wait and see how this one goes, folks. But Longue, Caraton, Otmir, who'd have thought you'd see this tussle at the end of this Grand Prix? Absolutely, absolutely brilliant. This is exactly what we want to see, Jack. 2 laps remaining. Who's your money on?
It's going to be very close. Caraton's nibbling at the back of Longue, but I'm sure Barry is absolutely furious behind the wheel of that McLaren. That chance has slipped away from him, battling away with Ruben Vallejo. There's going to be 2 laps across the line. He's desperately back into DRS right now. Barry's still now. He's worked hard. He's got back into DRS, but he can't afford to get any more warnings. He's on 2, and if he gets another one, that is a penalty. But he will be absolutely furious with that battle. That's not what he wanted, not what he needed, but 2 laps to go. It's the top 4 fighting for the win. The medium's not in good condition at the moment, but Otmir saved up his ERS. Caraton's been saving it too, and Caraton, he's going to try go for the lead up towards turn 1. Longue doesn't fight it, and Alvaro Caraton leads the Brazilian Grand Prix with 2 laps to go.
Yeah, Burman's fighting back. The Burman fights back here. Of course, just watch him in the background. The McLaren is not done yet. He is fighting. It's a war of attrition here with 2 laps left. Burman now heading towards Decidia Delago. Otmir dead ahead of him here as they ride now through the next left-hander. Still nothing changes at the top end. Caraton holds on. Longue in behind as well, watching the Spaniard. In cahoots, currently making his way around the next right-hander. Still in P1 is Caraton. Nothing between all of these guys. They're separated. The gap is thinner. Thunder flies, eyelash. I tell you what, folks, if I cannot take my eyes off this. Absolutely out of this world, Jack. We're about to start the final lap. This is not fair.
Oh, it's not fair. This is the last lap of the season as well, of all things. Caraton's got the gap, though. This could be Caraton's race. What a way to do it. The outsider to try and do it, but look at the background now. Barry's going to try and get past Jarno, but Jarno saved up his ERS lovely, and he's got loads to defend with, so Barry does not have an answer, but Otmir's going to try and get past Longa here, but Longa has also saved up that ERS as they come across the start finish line. That's the calmest towards turn 1 they've been this whole race, but Caraton trying to hang on for the win here. Those tyres of Longa's are absolutely dead, as are the ones on the front of Jarno Otmir's car, down towards the descendant Lago. It's all nice and calm up front. They're holding place. Jarno knows he just needs to hold position and he'll become the inaugural champion, but he'll want to try and keep Barry behind him. Barry's used up everything in his belt. He's tried everything to try and get past that man. It was such an insane battle the whole way through this race. What a great finale this is at PSGL. Caraton still in the lead. Can he keep Longa behind for just a few more corners? And Caraton will try and take his second win in PSGL. And what a way to do it in the finale at Brazil, coming down towards Jungchao for the last time. What a phenomenal season. What a phenomenal race. What a phenomenal day of racing towards the final corner. It's Caraton who wins, but it is Jarno Otmir, champion of the PSGL PC season. He's done it at Brazil with a phenomenal drive to P3. Barry is fourth. He tried, but it's not enough. Caraton wins. Otmir is the champion.
The crowds go absolutely potty here at Brazil. The Dutchman has done it. The Flying Dutchman has done it. The first PSGL PC World Championship has been won by that man, donned in black. The Mercedes that has tickled the top end so many times this season takes the Drivers' Championship in phenomenal fashion. Amazing race indeed. It was tight right towards the end. Credit to Alvaro Caraton on taking the race win, but an amazing sequence of events that saw the Dutchman take P1. Not only are they Constructors Champions, but Jarno Otmir, Mercedes driver, is your new PSGL World Drivers Champion for the second time. He got his first one in the PlayStation Series back in Season 25. He's done it this time in Season 28. Phenomenal stuff indeed. It's been great to watch all this unfurl. I have to say, folks, Alvaro Caraton is your race winner. Nicholas Longe, a fantastic P2. He laid it all on the track. Jarno Otmir, what can we say? World Drivers Champion. Barry Burman, amazing season, just could not get it done on the night, but he fought to the end. He fought right to the end and took a P4 for his, certainly for all his hard work. Deserves every bit of credit, this man. Lewis Welch, what a drive. P5, he stayed in P5 from starting 5th on the grid. Liam Parnell, what a drive as well, started P11, straight up to P6, amazing drive. Dylan Warren, what a final drive as well, started P15, up into P7, great moves indeed. Chad Kinchi in P8. Tom Martinez is in the top 10 as well. He'll be delighted with that. Felipe Souza in P10. Yari Fitz in P11. Andreas Dormeyer in P12. Ruben Vallejo, P13. Alex O'Grady, P14. An exquisite drive from him as well, considering he started P20. Jorge Alberola in P15. Danny Moreno, unfortunately a DNF at the end of that race. It was unfortunate what happened to him. He had the pace. It just did not happen on the night. Philip Prejade, also a DNF. Simon Shooter, we lost as well. Ruben Pedreño and Pablo Hogala. And that rounds off the grid, folks. Unbelievable. Oh, Jack. Unreal. My voice is on the brink. I'm telling you what, sorry, folks, if you did not get much sense out of me after that one. My voice was on the brink. You could just about hear me now, I take it. But oh my word. That was a classic. That was a classic. Jack, how do we sum that up?
My God, PSGL continues to impress. That's incredible. So many things to take away from that race. Just the standard that these guys have, the composure from Otmir. I think that battle between Barry and Ruben will be talked about for a long time to come. That could have been the turning point. Barry could have maybe taken it later on, but it was Jarno that did the job in the end. And Caraton, I mean, What a drive from Caraton. He pulled out a sensational overtake round the outside of Otmere and got past Longway, took his second win, maybe a bit overshadowed because of the championship, and can't take anything away from that man. Phenomenal drive.
Amazing. I cannot, honestly, guys, we didn't think Australia could be caught. I mean, naturally, one of the best performances we've seen from Jarno Otmere. But that final race, guys, I mean, we never expected as much action like that. We were expecting a formality, something pretty standard. But we've got drivers waiting for us in the waiting room, guys. We've got to jump over to this now. And I just cannot fathom what we've just witnessed. It's been absolutely sensational. I'm pleased to say that we've got all of them with us here in the commentary box. And I'm going to start with the man that won the race, of course, Alvaro Caraton. Alvaro, what a phenomenal race, my friend. You did your utmost there to hold off. You looked like it wasn't going to come in your ballpark at all, but you managed to fight through because you were stuck behind Nicholas Longe and Jarno for so long. You must be thrilled to take that victory.
Yeah, it feels really good. I don't know why Jarno and Longe were going really slow with the soft stint, maybe so Danny Moreno could catch us. But yeah, I saw Barry pitting lap 13, 2 hearts. I tried to go longer, actually the longest of everyone, and in the end it paid off.
Yeah, I have to say, it was a brave call because it looked like the guys that were boxing early were making all the right moves. I have to say, you looked at the likes of Barry Burraman. He did look quick towards the end. Unfortunately, he just could not find a way through. I think he had more problems with the drivers behind him more than anything else. But naturally, a very brave call. And was that the plan from the very beginning? Or did you think, or did you plan it out during the race as you saw the others boxing?
No, my plan for the race was pitting for soft to medium, so not surprised. And yeah, I felt I had even better pace in the race, so I was like every time slowed down from cars in front of me. But yeah, I tried to overtake Longe in the perfect time. Then I made a gap, and yeah, we win the race.
Well, it was absolutely superb. And what that means is that you do hold on to P3 in the championship, and you were right up there fighting as well. You've had some great performances this season, a collective of podiums. That makes it 2 race wins for you this season. Naturally, of course, I'm sure you would have probably got more had you started in the likes of Britain and, of course, Spain as well. But great to see you at the top end. And how's your confidence heading through to another Pro Series season? Are you feeling settled? You certainly look good out on track there tonight.
Yeah, I think the new game is gonna be more understeered, which is good for me. A slower car, so yeah, we'll see how it goes, because this game, for some reason, has been my worst since I remember.
You're kidding.
In terms of adapting to it, yeah, I struggle a lot, to be honest.
Well, you didn't show it. You didn't show it tonight, Alvaro. It was absolutely superb what you did.
Yeah.
I mean, how did you find the pace in the corners? Because it looked like a few people were struggling out there tonight on different tyres, and it seemed to me that Danny Moreno had a lot more that he was getting out of the mediums. It seemed that he was finding lots of pace in the corners. Did not get a single lockup, I think, while I saw him out on track. So, did you find it hard to negotiate way around the circuit? Because I mean, to be fair, you looked really comfortable.
Yeah, I was comfortable, but I have to say that without the incident between Danny Moreno and Nicolas, probably Moreno should have won the race because he did an amazing stint with mediums, and then he was already in the mix with us in lap 30 or something like that. So yeah, unfortunate for him, but we took the chances and we won the race. That's it.
Well, you never cease to amaze us, Alvaro, but congratulations on another victory, my friend. Brazilian Grand Prix race winner, and I'm sure we'll see you. Will we see you next season for another one?
We'll see.
We'll see.
I'll take that. Happens.
I'll take that as a yes. Good man. Good man. Thank you, Alvaro. Well done. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you too. See you.
Thank you. Now, we're going to interview this next man, and very special, this one, folks, of course. First winner of the PSGL PC World Championship Drivers title. I'm going to do it in the style of Christian Horner. Jarno Otmere, you are a world champion. How you doing, my friend? Is he there? Can you hear me? That was an anticlimax. Jarno, are you there?
Yes, can you hear me?
Oh, now I can hear you. I tell you what,
Okay.
I just announced you there in full voice there, sounded like Christian Horner. I said, Jarno Opmeer, you are a world champion again. But I thought, amazing race, Jarno. And I have to say, you must have been a little bit concerned about Barry as he had the hard tyres on towards the end of that.
Yeah, well, I knew overall the mediums were the better race tire, and I did 4 to 5 laps more than him, so I was gonna have fresher and softer tires. But obviously, I had Longway and Alvaro to worry about, as Alvaro went 1 lap longer, Nicolas went 1 lap earlier. So yeah, I had some overtaking to do, which wasn't that hard in the end, I think so. But yeah, in the end, I didn't really want to fight the battle for the win. I was quite comfortable in P3. Just wanted to get home in P3 and win the championship.
Yeah, I mean, what a phenomenal performance. And obviously, there must have been some moments where you were a little bit nervous because, of course, there was that moment where yourself and Barry were fighting and Danny Moreno came into the mix as well. It was almost like a 3-man tussle heading through the middle sector at one point. Was there any ever thought that crossed your mind that one slip, the championship could be lost?
No, not really. I feel like obviously it can happen if you lose your wing or something, but other than that, I think I did quite well under control. At some point, I tried to overtake Nicolas and get Danny into P2, so we could basically pull away together, like we've done more times this season. But he had an incident with Longway, I think in lap 28. So that was very unfortunate. Otherwise, Danny would have been P3 in the championship, I think so. So that's what we were aiming for, to get Danny ahead and then myself in P2. But unfortunately, it didn't work out.
Yeah, amazing team mentality you and Danny have. You seem to be really in sync with each other. And I've got to look back at that those first stages or those first initial laps. Was the case of you trying to bring the pace down, trying to bring Danny into the race on the medium tyres? Because he was driving absolutely impeccably on those mediums. And you seem to be just slowing the pack down slightly, just allowing time for your teammate to catch up. Was that the plan from the Mercedes camp at that time?
Well, the first few laps I pushed really hard, so there would be a little bit of a gap opening up. I hoped that we could maybe pull away from the DRS from someone, me, Longway, and Alvaro. But unfortunately, we couldn't. So then the top 5 stayed together, which meant like I had to go a little bit longer on the first stint. So I wanted to slow down, save my tires, and of course then it was working out very well for Danny that he managed to gain time at the same time as well.
Yeah, well, I got to say it was an impeccable drive, certainly, and it would have been a great one for Danny as well. And I know the constructor standings is all very much signed and sealed, but nevertheless, great to see the teamwork almost making the dream work as well. But naturally, that's the first title. You must be absolutely delighted, though, to seal the deal on that, because it's been a real hard-fought battle between you and Barry, isn't it?
Yeah, of course. It's been a tough season. I missed 5 races. I missed an extra one compared to Barry, so I was quite far behind. At some point when I rejoined the championship, once Formula E was over, obviously no regrets. Formula E was really hard, very high competition, so it was very nice to drive in there. But then, yeah, of course, when we joined back, both me and Danny mid-season, it was going to be a tough battle towards the end of the season. But luckily, we kept winning again and again and again, with I think at some point 3 1-2s in a row. So, unfortunately, that Danny had at the incident, because the aim was to get P1 and P3 in the championship, but we didn't manage to.
No, but it was a great effort nonetheless. But I'd like to say from me, congratulations. I'm sure everyone as well watching, congratulations on securing the World Championship. A great driver's performance, and I hope we'll get to see you next season as well for some more of it.
Yeah, thank you. I'm quite sure you guys will see me next season as well.
Excellent. He's going to go for the double, Jack. He's going to go for the double. But yes, well done, Jarno. Well done. Next up on the list, we have got Barry Burremand, of course, the runner-up in the championship. Barry, I got to say, heart breaks for you slightly, my man. Very, very close, but nevertheless, you were up there with the fight. And it was just a real shame that we didn't get to see it maybe find yourself closer to the top end. But just the way that race was being strung out, it was absolutely amazing to watch. Nevertheless, you did really give it your all out there. Just give us some comments on that race.
Can you guys hear me?
We can hear you now, Barry, yes.
Yeah, I knew like Jona. I should say I'm a little bit disappointed after seeing Jona finish P3 because I really I should say, I really choked my quali lap because I did like 0.570 and was consistently doing point 0.6 in the quali. And started P4, and somehow my start was actually like I was really just a start happened, but my car like it was into the anti-stall like, and then I lost like 2 places, and some of like the Alfa Romeo drivers was like I think he didn't even knew how to leave the space. He pushed me off the track after turn 3, and it makes me, and then I have to go to the off track and overtake him again because I didn't have any room. And then the game told me you have to give him the position back. So I went to the P6, and then again he did the same thing. But yeah, never mind. I think my chance was really nice to win the race. Pace was really good, even with the hard tires for the first couple of laps. Pace was really good. But yeah, I can't say I'm not disappointed after racing Rihanna finished P3, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. In that moment, I choked the quali and everything really over. But yeah, again, after I moved to, I should say, it's the mid-season. I didn't one more race more than Yana, but the thing is, the game glitched and gave me drive-through, so I think I didn't really finish any on the point. So, but yeah, and when I moved to Turkey, I think everything was new. I was far from the game for like 2 months. And then for the first couple of the races, I lost big points. And especially Mercedes guys were playing teamwork, which is, we didn't, at least. But yeah, GG to both of them. Unlucky for Danny. But yeah, GG Honor. I think he fully deserved it as well. But yeah, as I said again, the chance was there to win the championship, but as I said, yeah, it is what it is. I take that, and I'll be back next season.
Yeah, I have to say, Barry, you've been an absolutely standout performer in the championship this season. Certainly yourself and Jarno were absolutely phenomenal. And you deserve as much credit as well for all your performances. Remember, you took the first 3 wins of the season, of course, at Austria, Hungary and Spain. It's just a shame, obviously, that things happened during the race. It was so close, yet so near, yet so far. But nevertheless, you did not give up, did you? I mean, there were so many battles between yourself. Danny Moreno came into the fold. Then, of course, you had to battle with Otmir. Longe was there too. It was a real scrap, a real fight. But you could be proud with how you conducted yourself today. You must be absolutely thrilled with certainly the way your performance stood out, because strategy-wise, it looked like you pulled off a bit of a masterclass.
Yeah, I knew I had to go something different. So I put the hard on and really try to be as high as possible, because I knew at the end of the race my tires would be better. But some of the driving, as I said, was really unprofessional, really pushed me off the track. I have to use my ERS again to back on the ERS, and yeah, that is what I'm saying. But it is racing, anything could happen. You could really judge anyone for your disappointed. So I'm really judging myself to not get this win, because it was all about quali. I knew when I took the quali it would be so tough to win the race. But yeah, as I said again, it is what it is. Congrats to Jarno, he fully deserved it. Great drive for him. But yeah, we're looking forward. And as I said, Jarno is a world champion, so I have to be. He really makes me improve as well. But yeah, everyone should be disappointed after seeing that chance is there to win the championship. But it is what it is. I have to make the experience of this and use it for the F1 esport. Really looking forward to F1 esport, because I feel I'm in a really good form. But yeah, some nights it's not your night and you cannot really fight for it. But yeah, still GG to everyone. Thank you to you. Thank you to Jack. GG to every drivers. And yeah, hopefully, and for sure I will be back next season as well.
Well, I have to say, you have no shame in taking him right to the end. I mean, obviously now, looking ahead, next year, I'd imagine you'll have the bit between your teeth. Are you going to look to come back again and maybe have a go at taking Jarno all the way again for the title?
Yeah, definitely. I think me and Jarno both really help each other to, the rival. The rival really makes everyone, that two rival really make everyone really get speed, improve. But yeah, really looking forward. Still GG to Yarno. As I said, yeah, next season gonna be a good one, I'm sure.
Yeah, well, it's.
So for
I was going to
yeah,
say.
for the next season, go.
Oh, I was going to say it's been a rivalry I've witnessed and enjoyed for the past for many seasons now across many different platforms, and I have to say I really hope it long continues. But yeah, obviously it's always going to be close between you two, isn't it?
Yeah, and I'm always enjoying it. Maybe we had some tough battles on track, but every time off track, we mostly respect each other, and I have a big respect for him as well. World champion, it was a really great experience for me to battle to world champion. But yeah, at the end, I am a little bit disappointed. I should be, I think. But yeah, next season, I'm coming to take my revenge. But at the end, I should say GG to Yana. And I think next year going to be as close as this year as well. So nothing really far off this. But yeah, I'm going to do absolute my best.
Yeah, well, there you go. You've heard it here first, folks. Barry will be back with a bang next season. Barry, congratulations. And obviously, very despondent, I suppose, at this moment in time, but a great effort nonetheless. We'll look forward to seeing you next season, my friend. Well done.
Yeah, thank you so much, man. And thank you so much to the whole PSGL for this amazing season. And everyone, just go and rest a little bit till F1 2021.
Yeah, I tell you what, folks, pedal to the metal next season. You heard Barry, be here for that one. Next on our list, we have got Tom Martinez. Tom, I didn't forget you this week, my friend. Another top 10 finish. You must be thrilled.
Yeah, the first time was so nice, I had to do it twice.
Yeah.
You know how we do.
Good man.
We're back again.
Ferrari, be
listen,
delighted.
Yeah, hopefully. We're here for the meme, really. P9 interview, why not? Let's send it. I got points again, so I am very, very happy.
Yeah, I mean, it was an incredible race, wasn't it? I think from everyone's point of view, the viewers came to watch. We actually broke a PSGL viewers record tonight, which was absolutely phenomenal. I think actually we broke it twice over, to be quite honest, which is amazing to say. But nevertheless, yourself, you had a really good, solid race. I have to say, you took your time, you took the moments when you needed to, and the strategy seemed to work out nicely for you.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, first of all, you mentioned it, but congrats for the record. Breaking the viewers number, and also congrats to Connor, who's here in the background, for the work put in. So, yeah, the whole team, well done. Congratulations on that. And yeah, the race itself, good fun. Very similar to the last one. I went longer in the first stint. I was the longest one. Pit the last one, and then that meant I had vet tires towards the end. Just kept it clean, tried to avoid getting a penalty, which is something I did last race as well. I was streaming, so my chat made me aware that Vallejo had 12 seconds, so that kind of spurred me on a little bit to kind of, okay, I've got this. If I can just keep going. I was in net P12 at one point early on in the race, but then I got shoved off. I think there's been a bit of controversy this race from what I can tell due to, let's say, racing shenanigans, possible battling, and I had a bit of that myself. I got shoved off track, lost 4 places, and kind of dropped to the back of the medium runners. But just kept going, went long, got the reward, got the tyres at the end, and obviously very unfortunate for Philip as well, who got spun out.
Yeah.
And yeah, just picked up the pieces. That's what I do, baby. That's what we're here for.
Absolutely, Tom. I mean, I've got to say, and to be fair, Brazil is never an easy circuit. There's so many different things you have to worry about. You've got plenty of high-speed sections, but then when you get into Sector 2, that is when the technical side of it really springs into action. You really have to be knowledgeable on your braking points, and obviously bendings around some of the curbs, like the real dangerous one at Bico de Pato, where you can actually oversteer and find yourself in a bit of a sticky situation heading down towards turn 12. So, it's important to be as useful in terms of pace, but also in terms of negotiating your way around a track like Brazil, isn't it? You've got to have the whole package.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think this was one of my worst tracks in terms of pace. I was made aware of this a little while ago and done some practice for a different event, and I could just tell I just lose time. Like, for example, the first sector is just 2 corners, but I found myself losing a tenth and a half minimum. So yeah, some tracks go your way, some don't. Australia, for example, I didn't do any practice and I still got a P9. That was definitely one of my stronger tracks, which I kind of regret not practicing more for, but I wasn't able to. But yeah, I definitely agree. Brazil's a really challenging track. There's a lot of corners that catch you out. Making sure you get the braking right for 1, but then open up the line through 2 enough that you can kind of get that momentum. Then turn 4, track limits, very tricky through there. And then the entire slow section then to make sure you're right on those curbs. There's a lot of places. It's a really challenging track, and my worst corner being the final one because, in this league, everyone is very, very fast. And to find that extra 1-2%, it means you have to go onto the AstroTurf, and that's not my vibe. I can't drive on that stuff. So a lot of inconsistencies at that corner. I really struggle there because the camera's shaking. I'm trying to get the car to a certain break point, and I just couldn't do it. And that's a big reason why my qualifying pace wasn't that great. But the short quality helped.
Yeah, well, you did it where it counted as well, Tom. I mean, that the whole point, I suppose, is to be consistent when you're in a race scenario, and you certainly seem to do that. Obviously, I want to look ahead as well to next season. Are we going to be seeing Tom Martinez back in PSGL next season?
I think so. I hope so. I think, fingers crossed, if the new game is to my liking and everything looks good, I am definitely going to be keen to come back. I do feel like I do have that fire burning. I do want to take a step forward. I'm not going to say I'm going to be a F1 Esports World Champion anytime soon, but let's just say I'll be happy with like a regular top 5, top 6, something like that next season. If I can try and push for that, that'd be insane.
Well, to be where you are right now, Tom, I think is absolutely phenomenal, and cracking work on all your content creation as well. And if you guys want to check out Tom Martinez as well, he of course does have a channel. Make sure you get onto Tom97, leave a subscribe as well. He does some very fascinating work on the F1 games, so make sure you pop over there and check out his stuff. Tom, it's been a pleasure this season, my friend. I really hope we get to see you here next year as well.
Yep, it's been a pleasure. Cheers, and well done to everyone in PSGL for the season. Really good job for a first PT season. And before I go, just a quick shout out to Philip Presnader. It's been really good having him as a teammate this year. I've learned so much from an F1 Esports driver, and it really helps having someone of his caliber to lean on, learn from, and just improve. And he's really helped me, especially at the start of the season. I was quite lost, especially with the full qualifying. So yeah, big credit to him. Shout out to him. He's been very lucky, so I'm hoping he can bounce back next season, along with hopefully getting a bit more luck in F1 Esports as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And we, of course, wish Philip Presnader well as well. I have to say he's been, of course, picking up a win in Spa. But no, credit to you both, Tom. You and Philip, both doing Ferrari proud. It's been a tough season, but you guys have really shone, well, been pretty much the light that has shone through it. So well done, both of you.
Yep, cheers.
Cheers. Thank you, Tom. And finally, we have got some words from Big Boss Man, Big C, folks. He's going to come and join us on the broadcast. And Connor, I got to say, it's a pleasure to have you all with us. And I know you wanted to say a few words to our illustrious audience here tonight at PSGL.
Yeah, hello. Am I sounding okay?
You're sounding good, my friend.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's a bit of a discussion, really. An insane night. We've been building up to this for so long. It's a 15 long races, and the work that we've put in as a team, like from the director team, me and Louis, from Manu's came through mid-season, from ORL. Obviously, you guys, the amount of effort you guys putting in, it's been insane. Like, I've been in league racing for 10 years now, and to have a stream as good as that, the quality of the broadcast, the commentary, and also the viewing figures, they don't mean everything, but to see 700 odd people consistently throughout the stream, this is unprecedented. We didn't see that in the peak of some other big leagues, which aren't really a thing anymore. We've never seen this before. We're really paving the way for the future. So, yeah, I mean, it's been insane, better than I expected, and yeah, because so many memorable moments. Being George, what springs to mind? What would you say is your, let's say, standout moments? I've got a few. I'd say Danny's overtake on the double overtake at Silverstone, I'd say is my standout moment. Because me and Wilson were just going mental because we watched the races in a party on PS5 and we were going insane. So yeah, I think that's the main moment that stands out for me. I don't know what you guys think.
I've got so many. Jack, obviously I'm going to bring you in as well on this. I mean, we've got so many to pick from. I mean, I can remember even back at Austria, and I brought out Boom Shakalaka for the overtake heading into the final corner. That always tickles my brain. But like you say, folks, there's so many. I think I'd have to agree with you though. That 3 wide occasion around Silverstone. I mean, I thought tonight was sensational, but I think look back at Australia and Jarno's push from the back of the grid all the way to P3. Yeah. I think that was just. That pretty much was a testament to the season that we've had, I think. I mean, Jack, I'm not sure whether you agree with that, or whether you had any particular moments that sort of was the pick for yourself.
It's so hard to pick. I mean, I am going to be biased with the 3 wide moment at Silverstone because I did end up on the Mercedes F1 Twitter. But aside from that, I think we can look back. I think, Jarno's brilliant strategy call at Australia was definitely a standout, because I think now we can say that was where he won the title. From there, now of course we have the brilliant overtakes tonight as well. I mean, Caraton's move on Otmir, that was kind of glossed over, but that was phenomenal. What he did there. And it's just there's so many. I was keeping an eye on Jarno's stream just as you were interviewing there, George, and I'm happy to say he has pulled off a shoey to celebrate his win. So he's delighted, thankfully, and we have seen a shoey from Jarno Otmir for the PSGL championship. But no, there's just way too many. I mean, if we were to put a highlights package together, there'd be about 2 hours, I reckon.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. I mean, Connor, yourself. I mean, we were very much coming to a very unknown platform for PSGL. I mean, I don't think any of us really fathomed or really expected anything for the first season. I mean, naturally, it's when you come to a new. I mean, I'm going to talk to the viewers about this as well, because this is you'll be amazed how difficult this is, right? PSGL, and you would agree, Connor, very much centered around PlayStation for such a long period of time. And obviously when you come to new ground like the PC platform, it can be so difficult to get something established. But from the get-go, it just seemed like the puzzle just seemed to fit together, didn't it, Connor?
Yeah, it did. I mean, I think, teamwork makes the dream work, so to speak. I think for a lot of time in PSGL, it was sort of me on my own and me, let's say, doing my own thing. So it was very difficult maybe to push the boundaries and push, let's say, ideas. But obviously we've had Kryptonite, Louis come on board, and honestly he's been a great help doing all the stewarding, doing a lot of the Discord, doing a lot of the donkey work, which now on full-time can't do. And obviously when we bring you and Jack in, like George, I mean, you're on it every day and you're messaging drivers, getting graphics done, getting videos done. So just having that passion, having that, let's say, work ethic, which I have, which Louis has now, like obviously, which you guys share as well, it means we all can work together and, really put a great product together. But I think, not on top of that, I think, we try and keep league racing what league racing actually is. It's meant to be fun. It's meant to be competitive. It's not all about the views. It's not all about having fancy prize pools and all that. Like, we need to treat the drivers, as they are. They're humans. And yeah, we need to, make them enjoy themselves. And that's why, I've known Jarno, I've known Danny for a little while anyway. So I guess we had that in our favour. But, they love it here. There's respect for us, respect for them. And yeah, it's just a great product. And yeah, I'm glad, it's just amazing. Like, I could never envisage when Dylan kept banging on to me, let's start PC, that it would end on something like this. So yeah, it's a testament to everyone's hard work, everyone's dedication. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree. I mean, like I say, I always say this, and this is a phrase I'm going to don till the day I die: passion before fashion, and that is exactly what PSGL is all about, folks. We don't look at views as a milestone, although it is a milestone in a sense, but we don't look at it as the be-all and end-all. It's what happens on track each and every day for you guys at home to enjoy. And the fact that me and Jack can come in here is a privilege, an absolute privilege to bring you guys the content. And Jack, I'm not sure, I'm going to go back to you now. I'm not sure whether you want to say a few words based on a similar subject matter, because you know as well as I do how hard it is to come over to a new platform.
Yeah, when you've been on one platform for so long, trying to move on to a new one is a really daunting experience. But just from my perspective, I want to say a big thank you to all the viewers at home for sticking with us and providing mental support for the race. I mean, Twitter's blowing up at the moment after that race. And considering we were going in tandem with the Pro Exhibition as well, I think that's just phenomenal. And I want to especially thank Connor and all the admin team for their hard work. You would not believe how much work goes on behind the scenes, doing the points, standing, stewards, inquiries, all that kind of stuff. And for bringing myself on, and as well, personally, I want to thank you, George. You put in some serious hard work and graft in the background. You've no idea, guys, the amount of work that goes into getting these streams right, making sure everything's perfect, the graphics, the driver overrides, trying to solve audio problems in the background. I mean, it's a pleasure to be alongside you, George, and I know you don't feel the same, but that's my yeah.
No, I love you to bits, Jack. Don't you worry, mate. I tell you what, the broadcast would not be the same without you, my Irish friend, naturally. And I as well, folks, I want to say an amazing, I mean, just everyone. It's not just us that makes this happen. It's you guys at home as well. At the end of the day, you commit, you contribute, you're in the live chat, you give us what for every week on a Thursday night. And it's made Thursday nights the new fun night. You know, people look at the weekend, what are you doing on the weekend? No, it's what are you doing on Thursday night? You're watching PSGL, you're watching the PC Championship, and that's exactly what this is all about. And we're loving every bit of it, folks. I personally want to say a huge thank you to Connor and all the team for all the work that goes into building this platform, this amazing grid of superstars that we get to witness each week for free, live on YouTube. Not to mention as well, all the work that goes into the standings and all the administration, as Jack so eloquently put earlier on as well. And Jack, as well, I want to say a big thank you to you for once again standing by me throughout an entire season and being, I suppose, the Geo right arm, shall we say, of everything that happens. Obviously, we are a pairing and we work so well together, and we've worked so well together now for a long time, and it's always a privilege to work with you each and every week. But I've got to say a huge thank you to all the viewers again. Connor, I'm not sure whether you have any words to yourself that you want to close out with or anything?
No, nothing more. Obviously, on Monday, we've got Wilson Hughes versus Duncan for the PSGL PS title.
Yeah.
So, yeah, another Brazil finale on Monday with Luke and Dan. So, yeah, should be epic.
Yeah, so make sure you go and cross over to there, folks. The championship being decided in Brazil yet again, only this time on the PlayStation platform, so don't miss that. It's going to be absolutely phenomenal. But folks, it was Jarno Otmir who took the gold on the day. Barry Burroman left frustrated, but we'll go again next season. Without a doubt, you'll see me and Jack for season 29. Do take care of yourselves, folks. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Oh, I forgot to plug the socials as well. Check out at PSGL as well. Premier Sim GL as well on Twitter. You can check out Big C as well. Big C, give me your Twitter handle, mate.
Yeah, Big C_019 on Twitter.
There you go.
Yeah,
plug him, guys. Plug him relentlessly. Also, don't forget as well. Don't forget Jack as well. Jack, give him your comms tag, mate. Come on, let's keep this going.
Yeah, absolutely. It's at JackCcoms on Twitter. There's a few new followers came in this evening. Thanks to you all.
Hey, there you go, folks. Don't forget to check out Jack as well, and also send him a load of messages as well. Flood his DMs. He won't mind at all. Also, check out mine as well. Mine is at George Morgan TV, folks. It's been a pleasure bringing you the action each and every week, and I'll see you next time. Like I said before, season 29. Be there. I'll see you there. Take care. Goodbye.